Hello, Internet. Welcome back to the Fast Travel Lounge. You're listening to episode 113. That's right, it's the unlucky number plus 100. We made it. I am Patrick. I'm joined by Seth. Say hi.
Yeah, hello.
And Steve, who already said hi, so he doesn't get to say hi again, but he probably will anyway.
You didn't even listen to me. I didn't say hi. I said yay.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
This is why our relationship doesn't work. I say things and then you don't even listen to me.
I think that's a perfect relationship with you.
Maybe episode 114 we get there. Maybe.
We're going to therapy after this, babe.
Part of the reason we're going to therapy is because I asked you to stop calling me that.
Sorry, Seth. This is a discussion between Pat and I. Can you leave the call?
I've told you so many times, this is a throuple.
I don't like that you make me call you slur slinger in the bedroom.
Okay, move on. I'm done.
Steven's in the cuck chair tonight.
I'm begging you, Pat. You gotta move us on.
Well, did anyone catch Ludwig's Big Fast 50 event over the weekend?
You told me about it, and I never uninstalled Neon White, so I can't reinstall it. I can only reopen it. Yeah,
I mean, context for that, I said I was re-downloading Neon White. Truth be told, I also did not uninstall Neon White. It just felt right to say that it motivated me enough to re-download it, but yeah, no, I guess that would imply that I undownloaded it, and I could never do that to Neon White, as good as that game is. No, really, really good event. I had like a list of things that I wanted to do over the weekend, got basically none of them done, because every time it was like, wonder what they're up to in the schedule. Look at the schedule. Oh, and then just some random game that I wouldn't even necessarily say that I'm a fan of, but I just enjoyed watching people speedrun. But whole event, really, really cool. And it was for charity.
Oh, nice.
We love charities.
I don't know how high it got to at the end. Yeah, so the funny, awkward thing, I actually haven't seen how the stream ended because I was so delayed catching up on bits of it that YouTube just straight up kicked me out of watching the VOD and said this video doesn't exist anymore. So I need to wait for the full upload to go somewhere and then catch the last... I got to the last, 40 minutes, I think. They were in the middle of a 120-star Super Mario 64 race, and then the whole outro for the event, but I have to catch up on that at some point, but saw quite a few good parts of it along the way, though. The Neon White reference, Alpharad, went and speed ran. Spud run. There we go.
Spud run.
Alpharad.
Holy
Alpharad
shit! We had the same. I think we said the same thing at the same time. Holy shit! Jinx.
Seth, say my name.
Punch, punch, punch.
The way you said that, I don't think I will now.
Oh, great. Well, I guess I'm just going to get punched in the head repeatedly by Steve.
Punch.
You know what? This is worse than being leaf seated.
Okay, Pat. All right, I'm done.
You know, if you ignore him, I can just edit him out.
That's Seth, I'm gonna be real with you. That's what the therapist tells me. Doesn't work. Yeah, the Spud run by Alpharad of Neon White. Very cool to watch, and I'm glad that even though... So I played the game, and we've definitely talked about how Seth and I have traded times back and forth on level 1 and how it drained both of us emotionally that we just agreed to a partial truce of a bunch of other levels.
Gentleman's agreement.
Yeah. But what was interesting was people on the couch watching Alpha run it. They were as surprised as I was at some of the routes that Alpha just had in his back pocket of, okay, this route hasn't worked out partway through some level. I guess we'll just do this instead. And just does some other route that I'm not saying it's a technically difficult route to do. I just never would have thought of trying it. So very, very interesting to kind of see how the master does it. And man, yeah, makes me really want to get back into Neon White again. Which I say that now, haven't had the time to do it, and I know how this is going to go. I'm gonna get to Neon White, look at level 1, check that I still have the best time on level 1, get to level... What was the one that you smoked me on? Level 4 or something?
I think so. Level 3 or level 4. The one that had this really 4. Weird, you have to bounce off the balloons and shoot them as you're going up the tower.
That's the one, yeah. I'm gonna look at where I have my unbeaten streak of records and then get to that, try it for maybe 30 minutes and then go, we'll just gentleman's it, and then I'll quit.
While asking yourself what I was on when I did that, which...
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I have no idea.
blaming Seth for performance-enhancing drugs. But other than Fast 50, I guess I'll duck us into Round the Lounge, as I always do.
Oh, yay!
Was it because I said duck?
No, because you said Round the Lounge.
Oh, okay. We take those.
What happened to Steamcharts? Did we do that before Round the Lounge? I always forget.
We do it whenever Patrick feels like it, every time. I also have Steamcharts ready.
Oh, do you actually? Because I didn't see it written anywhere or anyone said anything, so I just assumed we weren't going to do it. I wasn't going to bring it up, but now that Steve has brought it up, we'll do it after Round the Lounge. There we go.
It makes better sense to do it after Round the Lounge this time.
Well, yeah, because I just said we'll segue into Round the Lounge.
No, but also because I'm giving the heads up that the topic is better for after Round the Lounge.
Oh,
it'll be a
multiversus
you can't feed him. You got to keep going.
Well, I have not been playing Multiversus, but I have finally found the time. Actually, in hindsight, really, really lucky that it coincided before Fast 50 started. But I finally finished the Fallout series. I said I was going to try and make time for it, and I made time for it, and I watched it, and wow, what a series! I have some thoughts. And
happy for you, bud.
It is a TV show.
It is a TV show. I had Balatro on one screen playing another couple rounds of excellent game Balatro, but several sequences of Fallout, I just left Balatro running, and now I have an inflated game time.
Well, you were actually watching a TV show, not having it in the background. Huge.
Exactly, huge yeah. And you know what? I only needed 3 Subway Surfers Family Guy funniest moments.
Is that not how you handle them?
No, I just watch things.
No, I mean, like you were questioning Patrick not using it as background noise.
Yeah, then I said no.
Your dismiss failing. Move on.
You can edit. You can repeat this in post.
Add some extra reverb. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I've been up to. Seth, what have you been up to?
I too watched the Fallout TV show at some point. I played Multiversus and had a rousing session with Steven in that game. And I'm not going to talk about it on the week. I'm just going to mention it on Round the Lounge. I've gone back into Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis because there's a Monster Hunter collaboration going on, and that game frustrates me because Square Enix could have made a real RPG out of that and instead they made it a gacha game.
Just double checking, you said a rousing session with Steve, right?
Like it's space rousing.
Yeah, 2 words.
He's a fucking idiot. I don't know why he said it like that, man.
Hey,
what can I say? I'm a rousing guy, especially on Multiverses. Sorry, Pat, I didn't want you to find out this way.
Well, now we're definitely going back to therapy. Other than the therapy and possible divorce we're getting soon, what else have you been up to, Steve?
Yep, as Seth already stole my thunder, so I've been playing a bit of Multiversus when that came out last week. And I watched the Fallout show like 6 weeks ago, so I'll have a bit of a yap on that. And yeah, I might, because of the Fallout show, I played Fallout New Vegas, so I'll probably just say, just real quickly, everybody go play Fallout New Vegas. It's a very good game. Especially if you like the Fallout show. Actually, everybody go back and replay New Vegas. Everybody's played New Vegas. Go back and replay New Vegas, everybody.
I never actually finished New Vegas.
Well, go and play it then, man. Come on.
I got to start at Fallout 1.
No.
Here we go.
You can if you want. But
he sounded so exasperated after I said that.
The amount of people that have been like, "Oh, I'm going to play Fallout 1 now," and they get 5 minutes through Fallout 1, it's like, "Oh, this isn't the same," and I'm like, "It's not. It's a very different game."
It's not even a Bethesda one.
It's like it's a similar thing with Borderlands. People are like, oh man, I love, say, Borderlands 3 so much, and I've heard Borderlands 2 is like the greatest of all time, so I'll start with Borderlands 1 and work my way forwards. But Borderlands 1, it's so different, both tonally and also
visually and feel wise.
Yeah. It's crazy how much they kind of reinvented it for Borderlands 2. Man,
I don't think it was even reinvented. It was just Borderlands 1 was very bare bones and a base idea, and then Borderlands 2 refines that into something that Borderlands basically became for the rest of its life.
I wouldn't say it was bare bones. I do think it was just like a different vibe that it was going for. Or, I mean, it's sort of awkward because I was kind of like, quote unquote, maturing while playing Borderlands 1, but it definitely felt like it leaned more into its kind of horror-y, Mad Maxy, the serious style elements, and then Borderlands 2 came along, and I knew that we were in good hands when it was the A Whim Away trailer with Claptrap, and it's like, this is very different. Anyway, I guess Steam Chats with some charts.
So, a question that was always on our mind when it came to Multiversus and like these big service games is that you took it down for a long time, do you expect the relaunch to just have the same effect that the first launch is? So this is going to be a very simple Steamcharts one. Multiversus. The peak was 139,095 when it originally launched. How high do you think the relaunch is?
Ooh. I'm gonna go 69. Nice. 69k.
Nice. I'm going to say 699. I'm going to say 420.
Yeah, I was going to say 420,000.
So do you guys want to lock that in, or do you want to have a real guess?
No, lock it in. Nah, actually, no, I saw it the other day.
Wow, this guy.
Let's go 65. Oh, fucking this guy. 65,000.
65,000.
I'm going to stay at 69. It's a nice number. It can't let me down.
It's
Well,
a nice number.
Patrick, you'll be glad to know that pick was very nice because it is the closest without going over.
Hey, nice.
The cap at the relaunch was 114,000, which isn't too far off. It's like 25k off the initial peak,
Yeah.
but
Okay,
it's been
that's
dropping
pretty
off
good.
very fast.
Okay. I was gonna guess that it wouldn't have cracked 100, but I guess it cracking 100 and then dipping faster makes more sense.
It's been so that was May 27th. On June 3rd, it topped out at 51k. So it's lost more than half its player count already.
In a week.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it's very not surprising.
Okay. Is that the end of Steamcharts? Because we can just roll into Multiversus chat.
Yeah, we can just roll into Multiversus.
Sweet. So explain why. So I played the smallest amount back when it was, what are we calling it? Beta? Public beta?
Yeah,
Public beta. That's what they call it.
The olden times.
The before times.
Yeah, the before times. It really was a simpler time though when you think about it.
It was.
Back when inflation was only single digits. I
think we were still in COVID lockdowns.
I was able to play a little bit of that public beta, but for some reason, never really figured it out. Something about my internet, it was just absolutely horrible to play online. So some of the offline, played that for a little bit, and I could kind of see what it was going for, but the online experience was just a mess. And I think the only win that I got was probably Bugs Bunny, just being an absolute shitter, not needing any form of stable internet connection, and just being a bitch about it. And
Bugs Bunny's a low skill character.
Yeah, well,
with high tier rewards.
Well, I was going to say high ping characters, so yep, suits me.
Bugs
totally.
Bunny is apparently the second best character in the game, according to some people.
Well, those people can't be me, because I would say it's the first best character, because it's the only character I'm with online. But I can see what it's going for, and I loosely kept up with some of the characters that they added and things, but then when they then shotted it to say we're going to go and like work on it and then re-release it and everything, I quite prominently said I think you've lost a lot of the hype attached to this. So I guess it's doing better than I expected on a one-off, but doing about what I expected in the hype hasn't sustained and dropped off. But you said that it doesn't surprise you. So speak to that. What's changed, or what hasn't changed?
I would like to quote someone from Twitter that sums it up
Twitter?
very, 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 very well. This is the first game to ever go from a beta release to a gamma release.
Gamma release. Yeah, it doesn't feel the same. It feels like a very different game. It's a lot. Seth and I played a couple matches last week, and about half an hour before we started recording, I threw it on just to kind of remind myself. It's heavier. There's no other way to describe it than
and
heavier.
slower.
Heavier makes it slower. I don't know what it is. I think it's because what it was trying to do very much to ape that the Super Smash Brothers floaty element, like you're always jumping, you're always moving type of thing. Whereas now it feels like your character doesn't jump as high, they move a lot slower. The dodge windows, like you're not going that far. It just doesn't feel very. And I'm conscious that if it came out the way that it did, like if 2 years ago, the beta, it felt like this would be a very different experience, but it just sort of feels like they've slowed it down for the sake of slowing it down.
They've made the input lag worse as well. Someone timed it out. There's apparently 30 frames of input buffering. So for normal people, that means that when you press a button, it takes a full half a second for the action to appear on screen, and that feels horrible.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like the lag. I thought that was just a lag on my end. Okay, that makes a bunch of sense. Interesting. It's in.
Is there any kind of ballpark for what either another fighting game or what previous Multiversus was at? Because 30 seems crazy high.
Street Fighter V was infamous for having 8 frames of input delay, and people were making a big fuss about that.
Wow.
So is there not supposed to be any input delay? I don't know. Does this have rollback netcode? Well, these words mean nothing to me, except it just feels laggy.
Even at a local level, it should be lower than that. Like, I think the most acceptable people will take is like 4 to 5 frames of input delay. And so, let's say 5 is the maximum. Multiverse is coming in at like 6 times of that.
Okay. Yeah, there's no other way of saying it, but it just doesn't feel good. But as I said before, I'll say it again, maybe it's because it felt so good before. Well, I thought it felt much better before, that it feels like I'm kind of playing this underwater. And like I tried out a couple of new characters, like they've got fucking Jason Voorhees. For whatever reason, they thought that character was appropriate to put in. Very, very rogue. And they've got Banana Guard from Adventure Time, another rogue character.
Banana Guard feels like them trying to do their Piranha Plant moment from Smash Ultimate. But it doesn't work because Multiverse is a brand new game, and Smash Brothers has a legacy of building its roster so big that Piranha Plant being there is just a funny joke.
It kind of feels like they're just trying to throw everything, and then you get like the safe picks like Shaggy and Wonder Woman and the Joker and Batman and all that. Then you get kind of like weird picks like Jason and that thing from the fucking Gremlins movie in the 90s.
There's 2 Gremlins. There's a normal gremlin, and there's the evil gremlin. And then don't forget Black Adam is there because they try to tie that in with the Black Adam movie.
Oh, that's right, they do too.
Is he drinking Terramana tequila?
Unfortunately not, but they do have a Dwayne The Rock Johnson skin, and upon seeing it out loud, I said to Steven, that's not The Rock, that's the Stone.
Yeah, I definitely look like you've got The Rock at home. But on that type of the skins that they've got, like they call them like variations or whatever they're called. They actually look, for some of the characters, they look pretty good. For example, for Shaggy's got like 7 or 8 of them. Banana Guard and Jason have like 1. So there definitely are characters that are more favorited, and they'll probably get a bit more skins. And I'm kind of interested to see, just like with Pokemon Unite, when we spoke about that like 3 years ago now, every time they release a Pokemon Unite skin, I have a look. I'm like, fuck, these great looking skins.
Yeah.
Like they really suit the Pokemon. They suit the vibe.
Super Sandcastle, Crustle.
Yeah, or Kate Crustle as well, or it's Snorlax at the beach, or it's Samurai Gengar. All that kind of stuff is really cool. And I'm interested to see where they take the skin and the variations, going forward.
There's something I want to mention about the skins as well, is that every single character has one that's a toon shader, and that one's very weird to have in the game because it's just their default skins, but they've got like thick outlines and like more of a cartoony gloss over them. And
it's almost like it looks
so much
cell
better.
Shaded or something.
Yeah, it's a cell shaded skin basically, and it looks so much better than the default skin that I see that and go, that should have been the art style for the game, because the main art style for the game isn't that great. Like it's very plain. It's kind of like it's just
stand out. It's a bit of a mix as well.
Yeah, it's like some sort of mix between making a CG version of everyone that'll like fit together in a mold for everyone to kind of fit in the same universe. But even then, the toon shader adds on top of that just makes it look so much nicer.
Help me out. Yeah. Was it Multiversus public beta or a different game where people were, because it's all built in Unreal, people were just loading in custom assets? So it was like Eminem versus Drake versus Ronald McDonald and other shit.
That could have been this, but that sounds more like
a
Mugen
was Brawl Stars. Was that Brawl Stars?
I think so.
I think I know the one you're talking about, Pat. I just don't know what game it is.
I thought it was Multiversus public beta. Anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, for Seth and I, we're returning players from that public beta, so we got a bunch of like banners and weird stuff to customize your profile and that kind of stuff. None of it really matters. To unlock, you start with like 5 or 6 characters unlocked. You get Banana Guard for playing the next month or 2. But all the characters cost 3,000, which is kind of a lot considering you're getting like a couple hundred per match. Except for the Joker, because the Joker's a new character. New in the sense of like they've kind of announced him and he's like the big character that they're shilling at the moment. And he's like fucking 6,000. So that's kind of weird.
Huh.
So someone did the math as well. They did about 100 minutes of 2v2 games, and that gave them 130 fighter currency. So it would take roughly 78 hours.
Jesus.
78 hours to unlock one character.
Oh, but like you get like challenges and stuff, and the challenges
don't give you that currency, the fighter currency. They give you EXP towards the battle pass, and there's no way to just get battle pass experience. Like most games are with the battle pass, just playing a game gives you XP towards the battle pass. But Multiversus decided, no, you don't get that. You only get battle pass progression if you do your dailies and weeklies.
Interesting. That's what it was.
That's like the Halo Infinite bullshit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, actually, it is. Yeah, but like the Halo Infinite one was, actually was broken at the start, and it was like very hard to get them. And then they're like, no, here's more. Please save and play. Yeah, I didn't even realize that. I just maybe because I don't care about any of the characters, and I'm not going to pick it up after this. I'll be honest with you, unless someone's having a party night and it's like, yeah, for some reason we've got Multiversus on.
No, because okay, that's another thing I want to bring up. So in the original beta release of the game, in local modes, they were like, okay, it's local. You just get everyone unlocked for the sake of like running a tournament or having like a get together, whatever. Like,
yes,
we're not going to do the online check for those. This release, they've gotten rid of that. It's only the characters you've unlocked are going to be available in offline modes. No idea why they regressed on that step.
Surely, free to play game, my friend. They want more money.
Well, yeah, money. But I was going to say, like, you can kind of, well, I have to be on the assumption that they knew it was going to be a beta, even though I still think it came as a shock to most of the community when they said they were shuttering it. But from the perspective of it being a beta, it would make more sense to have everything unlocked, because then they can kind of get data on all of the characters, right? They don't have to worry about, man, we only had like 20 people play this one character because no one wanted to unlock it. It's like, no, here's all the characters, please just use them all.
Yeah, but that's... I'm saying this in the context of like, this is just for the offline modes. Like, even in the beta, playing online was like, oh no, it's just the characters you have unlocked. But if you're doing local mode, that's where they were like, okay, we take the limiter off because we're not like, the online mode is where we want you to try and go like, spend the money and play your characters and everything like that. But local mode doesn't matter. We're not going to do the check because people want to run tournaments for the game. And
yeah, no, I 100% get that. That's what I'm saying though, is that I can imagine from the perspective of this is just a beta, that it's not so much a conscious regression, it's they never intended.
No, I'm pretty sure they said out loud that it was an intended thing for them, because they were hosting their own tournaments at Evo.
Right. I don't know. I'm not defending them. I'm just saying if we got like a version 1 of the game rather than the beta, I would expect the version 1 of the game to also have offline stuff, like offline characters locked, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have led with they made that conscious decision at the beginning, because they made that decision for tournaments.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, burn it down. No excuse.
I can definitely say it's going to become the way of Nick All-Stars Brawl and just kind of peter out.
Which one?
Multiversus.
Oh, no, I'm saying which Nick All-Stars Brawl?
2, of course. Oh, the Steamcharts for that. Yeah, it just doesn't... It's no bueno. Like, I can see what they're trying to do, but maybe because it did come out... I'm not sure if it was like during the COVID lockdown or like towards the end of the lockdowns, but it just seemed like there was a lot more hype surrounding this game, and it felt a lot better. They've got like these offline modes called Rifts, and I was like playing them. They're not fun. They're dog shit easy, even on the harder difficulties. But there's like lag to them as well. Like there was a whole like stutter I got throughout like the 4 or 5 games that I played through it. And like, it's probably not an offline mode, but the fact that I'm doing like a PvE type of thing and there's like a lag when I wasn't getting any lag on the online mode, it's just a bit weird. It just didn't feel very good. Like to the point where like my housemate was rushing me and he's like, "Whoa, man, this game's pretty laggy, hey?" And I'm like, I'm versing the like computer controlled opponents, and he's like, "Whoa, maybe it's time to find a new game, big fella."
Have you tried upgrading your computer?
Yeah, because that really it's because I'm playing on the Xbox, man, my friend.
Have you tried upgrading the Xbox?
I can't upgrade it. The generation defining Xbox is coming out like in a year or so.
The world's most powerful console.
It is the world's most powerful console, and I can't run this fucking dumb game. Or maybe the lag is just button delay. Who fucking knows? It's intentional, which makes it even worse.
And a thing I wanted to bring up about that as well is that throughout it, they've got these new mini games that they've made. So like there's like Super Smash Brothers Melee style break the target minigames, or you hop in a turret and shoot. Yeah, but Melee's the one that most people will recognize it for. They were also in Brawl, I'm pretty sure, but they were worse in Brawl because they weren't character specific. Anyway, there's also like a shooting gallery style one, which felt awful because the reticle moves in eight directions with the stick instead of moving in a 360 motion.
Yeah, it feels like dog shit.
God, why?
I don't know. There's a couple of other ones that I haven't done. Like there's one that's you hop in a tank and you have to shoot down turrets to defend a crystal. For all of these, you do not have to win. Me and Steven loaded into one, and he fell off the edge and failed it instantly, but it came up with complete. But I had like mission complete, and I thought that was just because I had already finished it. Turns out, no, you can just load into these mini games, jump off an edge and die, and it'll auto-complete it and count you as winning that mini game and move on to the next rift.
Awesome.
And I want to clear, I want everybody at home to not think that I'm like a shit player or something.
He looked at the wrong character and fell off the edge.
Because you chose the same character as I did. Fuckwit.
I thought it would be funny for both of us to play Banana Guard at the same time. Which it was, kind of.
And I didn't realize you had chosen Banana Guard because you were like Shaggy before or something. And I'm like, oh, cool, I'll go left. And then she didn't, and I jumped. And no good.
And this was going to be in the news docket, but I'm just going to bring it up here because why not? Iron Giant's already been removed from the game because he had an infinite and people found how to just infinitely chain grab other people, and so the Multiversus devs have gone, okay, yeah, we need to take him out back and fix him up. And they did this during the middle of a tournament, so someone that mained Iron Giant got his character banned live during mid-tournament play.
That is excellent. And you know what's even funnier about that? I was going to ask if they Overwatch 2'd any of the characters, and it turns out that they did. Overwatch 2ing as in...
removing Mei to try and fix her up, and I think Tracer as well.
And Bastion. Yeah, what a shit show.
Overall, like I think we spent more time talking about it than we have actually played it.
Yeah, and speaking of which, that's also because while we were playing, in the span of 10 minutes, the game crashed 3 times on me.
Oh, that's right, it did too. And like it started crashing for Seth, and it was like, your PC can't run it, and then it crashed on my Xbox.
Yeah, it crashed on me 3 times and crashed on Steven twice.
Sympathetic crash.
It was actually just crashing because it was like, oh, your friend can't play, so, oh no.
What if my crash was causing your crash, or your crash caused mine? Because we were partied up at the time.
But that doesn't make sense. Why is like one person's game crashing someone else that you're playing crossplay with? Come on, even I know that's no good. What did they do for the last 2 years?
It's only been
they burned the fucking thing.
I think.
Has it?
Yeah, they took it down last year.
This like 2. But like, when did it first come out? Surely that was
2 years ago.
Yeah, because I remember playing it in my. Actually, I don't live there anymore. I can dock myself in my Houston Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Sorry.
But yeah, in like the year since they took it down, they switched to Unreal Engine 5, which I guess is what caused a lot of the problems. Unreal Engine 5 is still kind of no bueno.
I'm not even sure if I believe that, because the tech demos, I guess it might be what the engine's being used for, but it would seem weird that there would be that much of a drop off in. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird that it's gone that horribly just from an engine change. It feels like there has to be something else going on somewhere in there.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot more going on, but I think like the engine change led to them not being able to polish things well enough before launch.
Yeah. Like
even if switching between Unreal 4 and Unreal 5 is supposed to be pretty painless, I imagine it still takes a good chunk of development time to do. Where just keeping it on Unreal 4, they could have just been trying to hammer out all these bugs. I think they just kind of rebuilt the game from scratch for Unreal 5, actually. I think that was something they said.
Sure.
They should have been keeping it real instead of keeping it Unreal.
Hey.
Go as funny as I thought it would. But yeah, Multiversus. It's free to play. Go play it if you want, or if you don't want.
Yeah, I was going to say, so it is free, but both of you have uninstalled it / aren't returning to it. What would they have to do to make you come back? I guess fix the feel of it, put it back to the old one, or I didn't even really get a good taste of how the old one felt, but maybe Steph's just gonna say, I want it to feel more like Tekken 8. But what?
No. I want it to feel more like Smash Brothers.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good starting point as well. But is it something that you think they can update their way through to make you come back to, or is it kind of it is what it is and we move on?
It depends if if the current style, like the current speed of the game, is how they want it to play out. Because if this is how they want the speed of the game to be, then no, I'm not coming back. But if they like completely overhaul the speed of the game feel, and then fix all the problems that they didn't fix with the game feel from before, like how the hit stun and combos work, then it would take fixing all of that. I'd just come back to check it out again. A big problem at the moment as well, that was kind of a problem in the original release that never got quite fixed, was time to kill. It takes a long time to kill the enemies in this game. Like, you can get them up to like 150%, hit them with a very strong move. They'll go flying off the screen, and then that didn't kill them, and they just come floating back to the stage.
Yeah, just like kind of weightiness. It feels like it's just prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah,
like they'd have to just realign it closely to what it was for me to come back. But I think at the same time, like I'm not that fussed about it. Like these kind of online type of things really don't grab me anyway. Like it, power to the people that do like it though.
Yeah, there's some interesting characters that are in the pipeline that people have found through leaks. I'm just going to say them because who gives a fuck? We know the Powerpuff Girls are coming. Apparently Samurai Jack is going to be coming, and Ruby Rose from the Ruby series is going to be coming as well. So all three of those are like on my radar of characters I would appreciate playing as in this game, but not in the current state of the way the game feels and plays. If it went back to how it used to feel, then I'd jump back on and give these characters a try. But right now I have no interest.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll just leave Multiversus there and move on, shall we?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Sweet. The Roadhouse thing, that was just straight from the heart, but two, reminds me of so part of Ludwig's Fast 50 was that it was sponsored by Assassin's Creed. What's the Japanese one? Shadows?
Red. No, it is Shadows. Red's code word. Oh, Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah, cool.
Is it?
See, what's really funny? They sponsored it. I don't remember the title. There were ads everywhere. No idea. But it was actually quite a cool sponsored segment. While they were eating dinner, because of course this was a 50-hour stream and they got to eat. Played games of Mafia around the dinner table, all dressed up as various kind of you'd believe them to be in Assassin's Creed characters, and they had a game master who I didn't recognize, but is apparently a reasonably popular Twitch streamer. Don't remember her name either, like Twitch handle. I mean, so sorry. But,
you're not very good at this, are you?
No, I'm not. See, this was like peak background noise time because they were eating dinner at like I don't even know what the time difference would have been. It was just like some random, probably around like mid-morning to like lunch time. So I don't know. I wasn't actively. We're getting sidetracked. I wasn't actively watching them play a game of Mafia. The point is, there's a beautiful moment in there which I can't find or can't be bothered finding because that whole segment's like 45 minutes to an hour, where she's doing the like narration of a Mafia game, and then accidentally says the word "Among Us."
Among Us.
And the funniest thing is this is the, like, I guess Mafia quick context. It's like a game that you play. It's basically like how Among Us the game is played, but if you're playing it in person, you generally close your eyes, head down, whatever, so that you don't see other people's roles, or like, you know, when people kind of wake up throughout the night to do whatever their role is. And so everyone is quote unquote asleep during this time. And then as part of the narration, she says Among Us. And so without missing a beat, one of them, like, they're all supposed to be just fucking quiet and like sitting with their eyes shut, whatever, but you just hear this Among Us, and then everyone starts snickering.
Very good.
So it's a beautiful, everyone's actually just a big like 12-year-old at heart moment, but it was very funny. Caught me off guard. Anyway, Fallout. And the fallout from how good a show it was, perhaps. Yes, that'll be the tagline. It came out a while ago now. What, 2 months?
Start of April, round about April. It's very close to my birthday, April 6th for all those playing along at home.
Is that your birthday when it came out?
My birthday.
Ah, who asked?
And this came out April 10th.
Yeah, okay, so wow, it actually is coming up in 2 months. Yeah, I'd heard good things. I just didn't have the time to sit down and finally fucking like watch episodes, and then I did finally have time to sit down and watch episodes, and I really enjoyed it, and I wanted to watch more and more and more. The couple things that I want to say before we get the discussion going, I thought it was very interesting that the Last of Us series that we've talked about on this before is a series that like very, very closely, like identically follows just about identically follows the story of the first game. And I know the story of that very well. And so it was cool watching the Last of Us series because they 95% of the time I knew what was going to happen because it's following the story, and so that's all fine. And so it was interesting that Fallout is a series that I just haven't played, just kind of missed that kind of era, but was still interesting following the story that I didn't know where it was going to go, and a couple of bits that I didn't like so much with how they did the story, but also come to find out after the fact that it wasn't even following the story of any of the games. It's just kind of a set-in-universe type story, as I understand it. Maybe you guys can speak to that more than me.
And you know what? That the way I feel about this show justifies my feelings about how I came out of the Last of Us show.
You might have to refresh your memory on that one, sir.
I wasn't as big on The Last of Us because I felt like the stuff that I enjoyed was when they peeled back from the game and did their own things a little bit or tried to expand on the stuff that was in the games. Like the best episode of that series is the one about Bill. That is completely different from what The Last of Us is, or even how his character is in that show.
True.
I mean, how he is in that game. And so there's a slight bit of disappointment in that they didn't handle Bill like he was in the game, because the show was trying to adapt the game pretty faithfully. But at the same time, that was very good TV. That was some of the best writing of TV and that show. And so I kind of wish that The Last of Us HBO was more of its own thing rather than redoing the game story, which at this point I'm fairly tired of. So having Fallout come out, and it's not repeating the games, but it's taking the lore of the Bethesda games and just doing its own thing with it, is much more interesting to me, and I'm really glad that the show panned out the way that it did.
I think you and I agreed that we would both be massive fans. Like as I recall, we both agreed that the Bill episode was a very strong episode, but kind of did nothing in the context of the series.
Yeah.
But it would have made for an excellent starting point if they wanted to do a similar kind of thing based in the universe of The Last of Us, but just an anthology-style storytelling focusing on one character, or like a very anthology style storytelling thing of just a few episodes of just different things going on, which
see how different people and different areas of the country were affected by the plague.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I guess we can get into some of how they told that story. But did you want to jump in with anything first, Steve?
I really liked the Fallout show, but I didn't watch the Last of Us show. So
that's fine. And you played a bunch of the Last of Us. Wow, you played a bunch of Fallout games as well, as I understand.
Very big fan of Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4. I didn't get into 76 because that's a MMO, and I'd rather die. But yeah, very big fan of the scene, but I think I'm more of a fan of the actual world and the world building. Like to the point, like when I was playing those games, and even when I was playing New Vegas recently, I was reading the Fallout Wikipedia just to kind of be like, oh, okay, this is the world and all the different tidbits, and I kind of like appreciated the little, like we'll probably get to it in a bit, but like the little references that the Fallout show made throughout it. And I really enjoyed it. The casting was fantastic as well.
Yeah.
All right, so that's base talk done. Should we give a spoiler warning here?
Just before the spoiler warning.
No spoiler warning. Fuck 'em.
P is stored in the... No, I would say before we get to the spoiler warning, I would recommend that people go watch the show. Overall, probably, I don't remember what I gave Last of Us, somewhere up in the like 8s to 9s out of 10s. I'd probably put Fallout in a similar spot.
Yeah, I'd say probably a 9 out of 10. As Steven likes to put it, there is no perfect 10 out of 10, so we will not be giving that to Fallout.
We'd only give it to me. I'd probably give it like a 9 as well, even though like why are you rating it at the start? What a weird thing to do.
No. My point is that now we can go into why we score it that way as part of the spoiler warning.
Of course.
See, host has a plan.
This is why we need therapy.
That's why we're all in therapy. Anyway, so consider that a spoiler warning. Please go and watch it if you haven't. Okay, so spoilers.
Whoa, I can't believe they all die at the end. What a weird way to end tonight.
So let's chat the references, because there's a few things that I looked at kind of from the like construction filmmaking side of it that made it seem like there were references to things that if I'd played the games would carry more weight.
They named a dog meat.
But that's never said. That is never fucking said in the show.
Yeah, yes, it is. The Ghoul calls him dog meat.
Oh, he does too. Does he? Oh, I must have missed that. But like I remember seeing everyone was going off about it, and I'm like, I didn't hear it. Like it's not like as if. And the dog's not. You could. I hate that fucking dog character. You could remove that dog, and nothing fucking changes.
I love that
from
dog.
The show
they put
or
it
the
in
game?
there. Their pet. He's a companion in the show. He's actually a free companion in Fallout New Vegas, so technically you got 2 companions. But it's just very pet washing is the only word I could say. Like they're putting a pet in it, and there's a little bit of interaction with the pet to be like, oh.
No, the dog serves a purpose, and it's to make that one knight that I forgot the name of with the broken foot, make him look like an absolute jerk for trying to lock it in the Nuka-Cola fridge.
Yes,
but why?
True.
See, but why would he have locked it in the Nuka-Cola fridge and not just shot it? Like I don't understand. like what's the point? It's arguably a more cruel way to do.
True.
Got a lot of problems with that fucking scene. I got a lot of problems with that fucking. And he wasn't a knight; he's a squire.
Yeah. So that actor, I don't know his name, but I only know of him from playing a dipshit, partially absentee boyfriend from Superstore, and it's really funny watching him play. In some ways, a similar character, in some ways, a different character, but just in my, it's like watching Malfoy play anything other than Malfoy, and you're like, I know what I'm watching, but I also know where you come from, and it's just because I watched Superstore first that's where I know him from, and so I see him do like a haha funny slapsticky type bit, and it's like, oh, it's just like what he used to do in Superstore.
I looked it up. He's Squire Thaddeus.
Sure he is. But yeah, that's so okay. So what? So is the significance of the dog being called dog meat that canonically that's the dog from Fallout 4? Then
I think it's just a funny reference to it.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have to be the same dog, but it's fun that they called it dog meat as a reference to the game.
It's a tangential reference at best.
Right. So this is the final episode now, which I know we already gave the spoiler warning, but just jumping ahead to that, it felt like where her dad ran off to in the mech suit, that town or whatever, that town felt significant.
That's New Vegas.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I assumed it had to be some location from the game. I also needed that
clarified to me. I was like, I know I should recognize this. I was talking to Trin when I finished watching it. I'm like, I know I should recognize this place. I just don't. And she told me it was the strip from New Vegas. I'm like, yep, that's it. It all clicks together now. And also, I saw people were very upset that like this show apparently is going to ruin the lore to New Vegas. And I think it's cool that New Vegas is being added. I don't care. I don't think I care about the significance of it being its lore changing for the show. But also at the same time, it does kind of suck that the one game that Obsidian made is being put into the show and then being ignored about why that place is so loved from the games.
Yeah, it's I think it's Sandy Shores, like it's the town that gets like nuked, but there's actually like a real town in Fallout New Vegas. So
that was going to be the other question: was what is the significance of Sandy Shores being a town that you know got nuked after the apocalypse?
Oh, so Sandy Shores in New Vegas is actually like a standing town.
Interesting.
So
that's the law change.
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hang on, I don't think it's. Is it New Vegas? It might not. It might even be like Fallout 2.
I Oh, then the lore for that is even worse off because Bethesda does not care about the lore for Fallout 1 and 2 at all.
Yeah, I can't remember. I haven't played Fallout.
I don't know about you guys, but they went from Fallout 4 to Fallout. I don't know if there's a fifth game, but they then jumped all the way to 76. So I don't think they're very good with numbers.
Yeah, just they're doing the. Don't let me tell you about Final Fantasy. None of those are the final games either.
Let me give you the rundown on Xboxes.
We got the Xbox One. We got the Xbox One.
With the Xbox Series, we got the Xbox Series. But no, I think it's just because with games they can sort of go in a lot more into depth, whereas with TV shows, and this is like what 8 episodes, between 45 minutes to an hour, they've got a limited time of what they can do.
And they do a pretty good job of world building in the show. Like I know nothing about, like, I've only played a little bit of Fallout games, so I don't know a whole lot about the world of Fallout. But I feel like I got invested in the world of Fallout through the TV show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, 100%. They set it up very, very well. Like you cannot, and I liked how they went back and forth from the past to the future, and they kind of got the whole Vault-Tec is the big bad corporation type of guy. But then at the same time, you're like following Lucy and her adventures and the ghoul and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and having the ghoul there as like the bridge between the past and the present storyline is really cool as well. I really appreciate that. Like having one character that's like, I survived the nuclear fallout and I've been here since the beginning, and just seeing how that's worn him out is a really cool addition.
Is that canonically part of the games? Like, I imagine ghouls are in the games, but like, do you meet/interact with people that have been there since the apocalypse?
I think canonically all ghouls are from the start of from the pre-war times.
Right.
There might be ones that aren't.
I love that we said spoiler warning, and there's like a whole bunch of hardcore Fallout fans that are probably listening to this, and they're just screaming in their chairs up and down at how ignorant I am of like the lore.
It's okay. I'm also very ignorant of the lore. I will just wear it as a badge of honor when I get something wrong.
Filtered. But no, I'm pretty sure like 99% of the ghouls are from like the pre-war times. So it makes sense that he'd be there. The only thing I've got a problem is that like he's like, and I know with TV and stuff, they can't make him too ugly, but like in like Fallout 3 and in New Vegas, they're supposed to have like skin peeling off them and shit. And like in Fallout 4 and 76, I kind of like smoothed it over because they've been alive for like 250, 300 years. Like they're fucking pretty gross. And they got radiation poisoning and stuff. And that's kind of why and that's where it gets a bit weird. You know how Thaddeus, how he broke his leg and he gets that weird magic fucking thing from that guy, the Wild Wastelander perk. And then when he recovers, it's like, oh shit, are you a ghoul? And he's like, oh fuck, am I? It's because like ghouls can like regenerate and all that type of thing. But realistically, it wouldn't make sense. I was told by Trin that maybe he's becoming a super mutant. I think she said it was instead of a ghoul. Super mutant. He would have been a super mutant, which is different. Which is essentially the Fallout 1. Is like the Enclave is making a super mutant army, and they're injected with FEV, I think, like an experimental virus, and it fucking roids them out and all that kind of stuff. That's probably why there were no super mutants in this, because it's obviously setting it up for like series 2.
Retconned.
I don't think they're retconned. I think it's just they're pushing it into a sequel bait.
Also for clarification's sake, because Trin also mentioned this to me, is that Shady Sands was from Fallout 1. I think you were saying, it's all the way back in Fallout 1.
Yeah. For some reason I thought it was from Fallout New Vegas.
Enclave, are they different to the Brotherhood?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So the Enclave is like a sort of separate organization that's kind of remnant of the old world, whereas the Brotherhood of Steel is like this kind of semi-Catholic organization that
it
is
seems
just sort of
real
collecting
like
relics of the
Adeptus
past.
Mechanicus type shit.
I don't know what that means, but probably
like 40k, like preserving the ways of the old world, but like going very kind of it's very kind of crossover of religion and tech.
Yep, pretty much, yeah. And it's like we're going to take all the old world tech because we can't trust anybody else with it.
Yeah, that kind of shit.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I will say it's a good segue into the Brotherhood of Steel. I thought they were done fantastically. The whole thing of
speak to that, like what makes them being so. I just as a casual watcher of the show thought that they were done well as well, but I have no kind of lore basis. That's why I had to quickly check on the Enclave thing, because they mentioned the Enclave a couple times, but then There's like nothing about them, and then they just go back to the Brotherhood, and it's like, okay, are they the same? Is there someone else? So how was the Brotherhood done well to you?
I thought it was good because like every time you interact with the Brotherhood in the games, it's very much a hierarchical structure. There'll be like a leader or something, and you've got to do a bunch of quests for him. And then you've got the knights, and the knights are the ones that wear like the power armor.
Yeah.
And I thought the power armor looked fucking fantastic. It wasn't just some magic exoskeleton they put on and they just wipe everything out. It's like you've got to, they did the Fallout 4 thing where it's like one thing and like you sort of step out from it, which is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then you've got the scribes, which are like the people trying to be knights. And it was cool how like they just had a lot of shit they had to carry around, which is a little bit of a reference to the games when you're giving your companion a lot of shit to carry around because you don't want to be over encumbered.
That's good.
And just like the general theming of them, like especially Maximus wanting to do good kind of is pretty, it kind of does suit the Brotherhood's kind of general theming. I'm not sure how he kind of comes back with the target, but it's not really the target, it's a different thing. It gets very much like, oh, well, we've got to do something else now. And it's like, I don't think that really would have flown, but they kind of needed it for the narrative, so I appreciate that. But no, overall, it was pretty good. I fucked with it.
10 out of 10. Off of that, so I quite liked the bits of world building we got in terms of, as you say, this is sort of the 101s of how the Brotherhood of Steel operates. Similarly to 101 of like, this is the origin of the Ghoul and that kind of stuff. What I really enjoyed, because it had a lot of crossovers with things like Severance, the TV show, was when they spent time following Lucy's brother in the vault and uncovering that thread. Because I don't want to say complaints, but one of the things that I wasn't sure how they would do it is if what I was loosely expecting, knowing nothing about the show, but seeing the little bits of trailers and stuff, it was like, okay, all of the media that I've seen is like Ghoul and Lucy off on like an adventure. And I don't remember seeing anything about her brother or that much of the Brotherhood. Obviously, Maximus and the Knight suit and stuff was in some of the promotional materials as well. But when they kept referring back to her brother, it was like, okay, are we actually doing the video game of Lucy's the main character, we're following Lucy? Because they spent a lot of time early on in the series jumping back to, I forget her brother's name, but the kind of, this is how the vault works stuff. And I realized I was actually really invested in this is the politics of the vault shit, which is weird because it's almost inconsequential to what's going on outside the vault, but it felt really...
But then the final reveal pulls it all together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it feels so good when that happens.
Yeah. I really liked how they did all of that. I'm really pleased that for how inconsequential it felt like, because I'll be honest, it felt kind of like, let's just give him something to do because we've established him as a character for a couple of the pieces of he's just a dick that just doesn't want to like fuck with the rules of the system and stuff. It's like, okay, fine. Like I get what he's going for.
It just feels like he doesn't fit in with the system, and he knows that, and everyone else knows that.
Yeah, but it was kind of like, what do you explore in this? Because the system is the system. You don't have like an alternative fallback. I was expecting him to get kicked out of the vault a couple times, and then he didn't. And it's like, what's the rub? What's the interest here? And then it starts pulling on threads of like, oh, it's his mum's vault, the wristband thing.
Pip-Boy.
Yeah. It was his mum's Pip-Boy that opened the door. That started all the shit in the other vaults and other things. It was like, oh, okay, this is starting to get more interesting. And then, yeah, the final couple episodes was like, ooh, nice. And what's even funnier, I'm 95% sure one of the people vying for new head honcho of the vault is someone from Severance, just playing basically the same role as what they played in. It was just, there were a few moments where like they introduce a cast member and it's not a cameo, but I just know them from something that it just makes perfect sense how they play what they're playing in Fallout. It's like bloody Jerry Smith from Rick and Morty being the Cyclops in the other vault. There's a lot of silence. Please tell me that you guys know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
I do not.
What are you talking about?
the Cyclops that Lucy meets in the vault under by Shady Sands.
Cyclops? What are you talking about?
No, there was a Cyclops, one of the people in the second vaults that they visited.
Oh, and the experimental thing.
Yes,
yep.
the experimental
okay,
thing.
no, sorry.
Yeah.
I think the Cyclops was the leader of that area.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he was. Yep, I'm with you. He was the overseer. Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah, sorry.
And that actor is the voice actor for Jerry Smith, but I also know him as an actor from a bunch of other things as well. Or Cyril Figgis from Archer. I don't know. There's got to be something that you've seen that's like, oh, it's that guy.
Oh, it's Cyril from Archer.
Yeah, it's Cyril from Archer. I don't know if this is a bit, or is this actually a coming to Jesus moment, or...
No, because I was trying to find the name of Lucy's brother, so a little bit of what you were saying was sliding off the brain, and so you having to repeat that just now just clicked. Oh, right, it's Cyril. Okay, I know that man.
And so I recognize him before he says any line or is established as a character in any way. And then when he does the funny things, it's like, he does the funny things because he's the funny actor. Yeah.
It is typical typecasting sort of stuff.
Yeah, and then I smile and clap because I enjoy my slop.
So yeah,
yum.
just for prosperity's sake, I guess. Lucy's brother name is Norm, and
posterity, I think, is the word you're looking for. But yeah, continue.
The reason I want to bring him up again real quick is because I think by the time the show ends, I'm most interested in seeing where his storyline continues rather than everyone else's. The way. The revelations they do about the trio vaults 31, 32, and 33, the revelations they do at the end of the show for that and how it all ties into the rest of the show's story and every character that's associated to the show, I think everything around that is the most interesting thing going on right now. Cool, New Vegas is going to show up, but what are they going to do with this trio vault and how one of them has just been this secret organization that's trying to take over the new world when they decide the time is right.
Yeah.
I'm just very interested in, because all the vault or most of the vault are experimental type of things. And I really like that as part of the Fallout.
Universe. The vaults that they found in that with all the mutated people.
That
was Vault 4, I think it was. And that was just right. That was just a science vault, all of the world's top scientists were stuck together in that and just letting science rule society. And then they're like, this is a bad idea. Really makes you think.
Yeah, exactly. And there are a couple of vaults that get one that can only eat human flesh, one that is organizing super plants and the plants take over the vault. I'm very excited to kind of delve more into that.
And then Vault 101 had greases.
The bold aspect.
Which?
The Vault from Fallout 3, it had greases. It was the bullies in that were just people from the 50s. Very grease lightning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Speaking of 50s, the whole vibe that I know it's the Fallout vibe, but the kind of big bandy sort of swing.
All the songs that played at the start of all the episodes are from the Fallout radio that plays when you're playing the game, whether it's 3, 4, or New Vegas. And that was such a fucking callback. It was so good. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, and because of the way the timeline is in the Fallout universe, I think music hasn't progressed past the 40s.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's technology.
It's definitely 30s, 40s era. Maybe touching 50s, but I wouldn't say it's past 60s for that sort of music.
Yeah. Yeah, it would never really age past the World War II. Because the real thing about it is it's this ongoing Cold War with China. Because there's dwindling oil resources and we're at war and the communists are coming.
Yeah, it's I think actually I'm just gonna ask rather than saying I think, but canonically when the apocalypse happens, it's actually in the 20s, the 2000s, right? It's not
2072, I believe.
Yeah, cool. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that the Fallout Society hasn't progressed past being the 50s because that is peak America.
Amen.
There are things I will say that I would say, but I don't want to get cancelled, so I'll just say it's the honeymooners era, peak America.
two things that I want to toss as grenades to the conversation. One, the voice of the organ harvester bot. Just perfect on... I only know him from the IT crowd. I'm sure he's done other things as well. But as soon as I heard his voice, it was like, oh, it's that guy. And then in the flashback, it's the ghoul and him hanging out and talking about how that's his voice being used. And as soon as I saw him, cool. As soon as I saw him sitting on the chair, it's just like, it's him. He's awesome. And the other grenade I want to toss in, I got the hints that they dropped early, not that early actually, but I got some of the hints about Lucy saying that she swore she remembers like the sun on her skin and like that sort of like warmth being outside type feel, hanging out with her mum, but then brushes it off as like, but obviously that was simulated from inside, and then they have the cool like projections of like sunsets and other shit that they had on in the like main room. I don't know what you'd call the rooms in the vault. But I did not see the twist of the random, I don't know what you'd call it, ghoulish thing chained to the table. I thought it was just a...
As they were doing the reveal, I was like, the ghoul is her mother.
Yeah, exactly. But I as soon as they walked in, that production design I liked and didn't like, in that I liked most of the things in it, but it also weirdly felt empty. But I think that was the point. Like, it was sort of uncomfortably empty because, you know, what sort of kingdom do you have to rule over when you're in that sort of society? But I legitimately thought that they just had like that weird semi-alive skeleton on a chain just because it was like a cool piece as part of the I'm evil and this is my evil lair. When they started dripping hints and then the reveal, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, as they were starting to tell the story and being started clicking, I was like, it was probably like a minute before the reveal.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how long the actual exposition goes for, but it didn't take too long into the exposition. But I was like, oh right, that's the mother, and all of this is his fault. That is going to go places later on.
Yeah.
Lucy is such an interesting character in this show because it's so fun to see like this naive character just slowly gets their mind disintegrated over the course of what this world is now.
Yeah. I don't know how... Yeah, I agree broadly. I think the naivete and everything worked really well. I wasn't sure how the jokes / like dialogue of like them chilling in the... It might have been in the containment room of Vault 1 or whatever, and she's like, yo, you just want to like have intercourse, whatever, and Maximus is just kind of like,
that was cringe.
It felt...
That was cringe.
It felt cringy. It didn't land for me. I could kind of see what they were going for, but it was those sorts of moments where it's like, I don't know if we need to be scraping the barrel like this. There's like naivety, and then there's like kind of just almost like sociopathy. There's like a couple moments where it's like, I don't know what side of the line we're on here.
I think that... Okay, so I don't want to sort of phrase this in a way where I'm like, no, I think that was good, but I think it works because it flipped the script. It made her go from the naive one to the person that was like very in charge and knowing, and then it turned Maximus into the one that was like very naive about the conversation and had no idea, because how is he supposed to know in the Brotherhood? But the following conversation around it did make me cringe.
Yeah. That was probably the one time... I only bring that up because of the like naivete thing, but that was when the naivete kind of hit like a... I think cringe is probably the best way to describe it. I wasn't really sure like what word to put to it in terms of the... Wasn't really a fan of it. Didn't hate it, but just wasn't really a fan of it compared to how strong a lot of the other dialogue is in places. But yeah, very cringy is probably a good descriptor. Realizing that we're at 34 minutes. Any other bits that either of you want to hit?
It's good.
Real quick, how did you guys feel about Lucy and Maximus ending up being in a love interest situation? Because that feels
God
like...
God forbid they not do a fucking love interest.
Yeah, that feels like something that they do just to do it in a TV show. But kind of didn't really care for it myself.
Can't people just hang out? Why people always got to be falling in love? Can't people just go on wacky adventures?
Just the Patrick style. Just, I love you. Yeah, I think they did so much to kind of not hint at it because it's about as subtle as a fucking brick to the head, but I don't mind it because that is the trope, and trope's gonna trope, I guess. So
yeah, I think this is one of those situations where it's like, yeah, it was gonna happen because trope is gonna trope, but I kind of would have preferred if they didn't trope.
I guess, but I think the ending of the show becomes a bit harder to, like, I'm thinking specifically from the writing side. It's really easy to say Maximus and Lucy have this, like, will they, won't they thing going on, which is why they can all kind of be in the finale together. Whereas otherwise, Maximus is almost kind of outcast / shadow banned from the Brotherhood. And it's the Brotherhood that's kind of doing a good chunk of the invading, I don't know what faction the one that kidnaps Lucy's dad at the start's part of, if she's part of any faction or just doing her own thing.
She's just doing her own thing.
Yeah, okay, cool. but I think it becomes harder to write that you want to kind of tie off Maximus's story as far as the series goes, and it's hard to do that unless you devote time to him, and time to him is away from the finale of the rest of the characters who all kind of have a reason to be, like, everything is kind of centrally themed around Lucy's dad at the end of it. And Maximus, I can see where the writers went, we need Maximus in the room as well. Let's make it because he and Lucy have a weird like thing going. Because otherwise that link becomes a bit harder in my head.
I don't think you need them having a thing, because you could have just made them friends, and like the whole thing with well, Maximus, he wants to get out of the Brotherhood. He just wants he wants somewhere where he can live peacefully, and that's why he loved Vault 4 so much. And you can just kind of hinge it on Lucy on her adventure, like still being naive, just promises Maximus, hey, when this is all over, come back to the Vault with me. It's somewhere safe. You don't have to go back to the Brotherhood. And then that's all that's everything that Maximus needs right there. But then, like, once everything is said and done, like, by the end of it, it's like, she's going off somewhere with the Ghoul, he's being pulled back into the Brotherhood because of how everything around that went off, but I don't think he necessarily knows that she doesn't want to go back to the Vault just yet. So you could have, like, bits of Season 2 being about how he wants to get back to her so that he can go back to his safety, like, the safety net that she promised him. And you don't need the whole love angle around that.
Yeah,
you just have his he wants to escape angle.
Speaking of angles, suddenly reminded me that we haven't touched on it yet, but the mechanic, which I don't know the name of it, I'm sure it has a name, but I want to blow off the leg of someone in Fallout
system.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah, VAT.
I thought they did that quite well. I assume that was what they were doing when the Ghoul was like, I'm just going to blow the various limbs off various people at various times throughout the show.
Yeah.
Thought that was done well.
The whole thing's done very well.
It is. I just wanted to give a special shout out to that. Cool. Well, we've already gave it the scores, so maybe we just wrap it up there. Final thoughts, Steve.
Everybody go watch it. I can't wait for Season 2.
Amen. And with that, we come to the end of Run the Lounge Part 1 for this week. Thank you to both, as always. We get to move on to Part 2 for this week.
No, thank you.
Which is, of course, that just gets funnier every episode. I swear to God, Steve. I swear to God.
You're welcome.
I cut it out every time.
You're welcome. You're a bastard, man. Oh, I'm so funny, and you.
It's just every time Seth just sitting in his chair like, yes, he activated my trap card yet again.
Every single time, and I guess because you guys don't listen back to the episodes anymore, I cut straight from Patrick's first, we're going to go into the news, right into the first news docket.
So I can say whatever I want here, and no one will know.
Yes.
Oh, I will know.
P is stored in the balls. Okay. Well, first up this week, we have a bunch of TVs and movies. First one, Like a Dragon / Yakuza. I don't know. They did like the rebranding thing. I haven't even fucking played the series. Steve, this is more up your alley. How excited are you?
Yes, it is. Oh, So good. This was like shadow announced as well. Like literally this afternoon, a couple of hours ago, I was just scrolling on the old social platforms, and it's like a Dragon Yakuza is like a live action show dropping in October, and I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever. I believe you. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is the official Twitter account of Ryogo Goten Studios, and fucking this is real. Huge. So it's a Japanese live action drama based off the hit Yakuza / Like a Dragon series, because they're rebranded with Yakuza 8, really, technically, I guess. But it should be fantastic. It looks like it'll be set in 2 time periods.
It's covering the first game.
It's set between. It better not be the fucking first game. There's a long 10-year period between Yakuza 0 to Yakuza 1, and that's what it will be. You can tell because the dragon's not colored in yet. It's only half colored in. And Kiryu doesn't have his trademark swept back hair. And he's not as bulky as what he is, but like whatever.
I mean, it's hard to find like just general stereotypical talk right now. It's kind of hard to find a bulky Japanese person. It's not impossible, but they're much rarer.
So if we were literally talking about how we have to cut down on the amount of racism in the break, and then you just open up with that salvo.
Well, it's more like because Kiryu is like 0% body fat, 100 kilos of pure muscle. Like it's an unattainable feature for anybody, not just a specific race. But yeah, you do you, man. You do you, Seth. Good for you, man.
So also a fun fact.
I
may butcher the name, but the lead actor for Kazuma Kiryu is Ryoma Takeuchi, and he is an ex Kamen Rider. He was the Kamen Rider for Kamen Rider Drive.
Congratulations, or sorry that happened. I have no context for this.
Yeah,
it's a good get.
Excellent news.
But it's good. It says apparently it's supposed to be dubbed and subbed, which us dubbed Chads always winning. But I will be watching this in subbed because that's just had to read all the other Yakuza series that I've played so far. But no, I'm really glad this is coming out. If any series could do a live action show really well, it's the Yakuza series.
Yeah, the cutscenes in the Yakuza series is basically a soap opera already.
Pretty much, and they go fucking insane. Hopefully they get some of the wacky side quest stuff going on.
They'd have to, surely.
It
would be such a flop if they missed that.
It only goes to like 6 episodes, though, so...
You could have an episode that's about Kiryu's wacky adventures.
Him being a taxi driver, him racing model race cars, him beating up men wearing diapers. Man, the potential, like the potential is...
The possibilities are endless.
Also, I don't think we mentioned it, but it's coming to Amazon Prime.
Well, I don't care. It's coming to the pirate for me. Yarr.
I have Prime because I just buy so much shit off Amazon. It saves me money.
Cool. Good to move on.
Very excited for this. Yeah, sure. Why not?
No,
I don't care for the next 2.
Okay. What's your follow up there, Seth? What
I don't have one. I was just hoping that saying no would put you on the spot.
Well, I'm just going to entomb the silence and move on because we get to talk about animated Tomb Raider coming to Netflix later on.
That was a good one, man.
Thank you.
He fucking does it again.
Always on it. Someone's got to be.
Always has been. But yeah, this live action. Sorry, not live action. This animated Lara Croft.
This is live action animated.
Sorry, Tomb Raider series. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It looks so fucking generic, man.
I'm looking for the article. I don't think they mention the animation studio, but it looks a lot like the people that did the Castlevania series.
Haven't watched that.
Okay. It's being helmed by Powerhouse Animation. Give me 1 second on that.
Here we go. Deep dive.
Seth, pull that.
Enhance.
So this is coming out in October as well. Yeah, so October 10th this comes out. October 25th
series.
We got Yakuza.
So I was on the money on that one.
Anything good?
The Castlevania series is good.
I haven't seen it.
That's not what he asked.
They also did Master of the Universe, the He-Man reboot series where Mark Hamill was Skeletor. That was also very good.
I haven't seen it.
You, my friend, need to watch more animation.
Notice how you didn't say anime.
I mean, it's made in the US, so it's not anime.
But it is an animation. It is anime. It does matter. Let's not get into this. We could be arguing this until the end of time.
Avatar is not anime. It is Westaboo anime.
Here we go.
Doesn't matter. Let's
Rest
move
of
on.
me.
Rest of Final warning.
Yeah, what does that make Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Peak.
Kino. Cinema.
The rare instance of Steven and I getting on the same wavelength at the same time.
Absolutely. The one quantumly entangled brain cell between the two of you just fucking lit up like a Christmas tree. Cool. Good to move on?
Yeah, good to move on.
Always. Hang on, are you guys excited about this? We just kind of like ripped on it for a bit. Well, I ripped on it.
I like this. I like the animation studio. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I don't.
You gave it such glowing praise as
the only one of the new Tomb Raider games I played was the original, and I wasn't too into it. But I like the animation studio enough to give it a go.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. From the bits that I have heard / seen of the games, I think it'd be more likely between that and Like a Dragon to watch Like a Dragon because I know it has the zanier side, but I guess I hope Tomb Raider goes well, and if it is well reviewed, I'll watch it. But I'm not like edge of my seat, holy shit, finally, this is the magnum opus we've been waiting for type thing. But yeah, we'll see. Next up we have Witcher Season 4, where Henry Cavill is out, big sad. Liam Hemsworth is in, big maybe glad?
I still wish it was Cavill. He was, like, everything I heard, he put everything into that show.
He put so much of his soul into that show, it's insane.
Yeah. But all this reveal really did is, like, show Liam Hemsworth as dressed up as Geralt for, like, 2 seconds. And he looks fine, but there's no, like, actual acting in the teaser trailer, so can't get a read on that.
And I've heard that this is the last season regardless, right? I think. Did I read that in this article? Did I hear someone else talking about that? Oh, never mind. Seasons 4 and 5 are being filmed in tandem. Nope, I will eat my words. No, someone told me that this crossover and the studio was kind of done with it, but it seems like they're filming seasons 4 and 5, so never mind.
If they're filming 2 seasons at the same time, I think they'll be done after season 5.
Could be. I'll have to wait and see. But no, the bad intel that I had was that Liam Hemsworth was in as kind of a stopgap because they'd already got everything else too far for it to just pull out, but that they were just like done with it after this. But maybe that'll be after season 5. Who knows? Man,
that show became dog shit after season 2. Man, season 1 was pretty good. Season 2, no bueno.
Yeah, it's one that I think I missed the initial hype train for it, and then by the time the hype train came back, it was for season 2, and then everyone said season 2 was just not good.
Yeah, it's not good. It's completely forgettable as well. Like the fight scenes are pretty average. Like,
and that's like when Cavill started trying to go into bat for the nerds, right? Saying that he started disagreeing with the showrunners with where the show was going because he knows more about the lore than the showrunners did.
I think he came out about that after he was let go, or before.
Yeah. Which, man, the world is too good for fucking Henry Cavill, honestly.
Hey, he's doing a Warhammer show, man.
Wait, shit, I got that backwards. Henry Cavill is too good for this world. Jesus Christ.
Man built his species shirtless.
He did. Man single-handedly raised the bar of what people expect out of nerds. And done terrible, terrible things to every nerd's body image.
He had to tone it down a little bit. The expectations are too high for us.
But yeah, so you're right, Steve. He is now somewhere figuring out how he wants to produce / star in a 40K cinematic universe piece, whether that's a series or a movie. But very exciting because he basically has the body of a space marine already, so training's done.
Apparently there is a buzz going around that Henry Cavill may be leaving the 40K series.
Oh god, no.
That was fast.
No. Can't this man find stable employment?
Busy gaming.
There's nothing official right now, but there's whispers swirling that he's going to be leaving.
Surely that's just shit stirring.
I guess we'll find out in a few months.
Yeah, we will. It's not in the docket, so I want to slap Seth for missing it, but Arcane Season 2 has a release date for November.
Oh, yes, I did miss that.
Very excited.
I need to watch Season 1 before that.
That, again, right? Please say again.
No, I just completely missed that because Arcane came out while I was doing my animation uni course.
Why are you like this?
I was a little busy.
the tagline for season 2 is that which is dead may never die. I think, or that which is dead doesn't stay dead. That which dies doesn't stay dead. Something like that. Either way, shout out to the Facebook commenter that said, "Thank God I've been grieving over my dead cat for the last couple months."
Oh, so that tagline reminded me, and I'm going to slap myself for missing this, but a Venom 3 trailer also dropped. Just throwing
Not
that in.
Not video game related.
It's nerd adjacent.
Nerd adjacent. That's the bar now, really?
But they dropped that trailer in at the start of Pride Month, and the tagline for that movie is "Till death do they part."
You're right, that is prideful.
The Venom movies are super gay. Affectionate.
Is there a problem with that?
Affectionate.
Rats, got you in 4K again. Happy Pride.
It's so hard to get a beat on how you said that as to whether that was like a positive or a negative thing. It's just like a second of silence and then just out of context, like, man, Venom movies are so gay. Is that
Tom Hardy and the symbiotes are a perfect match.
Just like the
Here it comes.
Now I'm on the spot. Now it's awkward. I was going to say we've insulted.
Go on, man. You're a big man. You're a big man with your segues. Where are your segues? Huh, big man? Where's your segue?
Let me finish.
He's edging you.
Let the man go in peace. We have failed all of Pride by not switching the fast travel lounge. I don't know what we want to call it. Icon, cover art, logo. Is it a logo? I guess it's sort of a logo. Anyway, it doesn't have enough rainbows.
Cover art's probably better.
Cover art, yeah, cover art. I like cover art. Our cover art doesn't have enough rainbows.
Just make sure, just don't, just make sure you don't change our Middle East one or Russia one.
Yeah.
Those ones stay the same.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're for Pride, but we're just not for that much Pride, you know?
And I caught you both in 4K again.
Yes, Seth. God, the Venom movies are gay.
Affectionate.
Okay, move on. We're getting close. We're getting close to the line, fellas.
We are. The question is, where is Rusty Rabbit relative to that line? Because I know nothing of this game. And it's launching September 24th. I probably should have followed up with that.
I'm very, very honest with you. I threw this in because I need Steven's live reaction to hearing this rabbit talk. I've thrown a trailer into our channel. I'll probably throw it into the video version as well. But Steven, please listen to this rabbit and tell me what you think.
Is that fucking Kazuma Kiryu's voice? What the fuck,
That
man?
is Kazuma Kiryu's voice.
俺はウサギだ。名前はスタンプ。老いぼれのウサギだ。
It is.
Takaya Kuroda is the main voice actor for this Rusty Rabbit's main character, and he's literally just doing his natural speaking voice, which is the Kiryu Kazuma voice. That's all I know about this game. That's all I need to know about this game.
Cool.
This is the fucking weirdest fucking trailer. I don't even know what type of game is it. Is it
Side scroller?
Yeah, it is fucking Kiryu. Jesus Christ. Very strange. Very, very strange. There's no gameplay in this at all that I can see.
It looks like it looks like they're showing little bits of the gameplay via cutscene snippets. So yeah, I think it is a 2D game.
Yeah, it is. It's a 2D side scroller.
Interesting. That might put it even more on my radar.
Yuck. But yeah, I don't care. It's interesting that they got Kazuma Kiryu's voice, and it really flows into the Like a Dragon Yakuza live action series. But yeah, looks like a weird fucking game.
Extremely funny
weird fucking games. Let me try that again. Speaking of weird fucking games, Tekken 8's getting a DLC character.
Yes, Lydia Sobieska. She was I think literally the last character added to Tekken 7. So I've always been weirded out by her not being in Tekken 8's initial roster, but they've shown a gameplay trailer for her, and she looks pretty sick. Not gonna lie. I have the season pass, so I will be playing her when she releases, and maybe making her my secondary main after King.
This guy. What rank you at?
Still in red ranks.
Red yet? What?
Yeah, I hit red ranks a while ago. I don't think I ever mentioned it on the podcast. I just mentioned it in the group chat that, yeah, I hit red ranks, and that's like where you start being considered decent at Tekken.
What's the rank above?
Purple.
Fucking casual, not even purple rank yet.
But maybe go load up Tekken and play while we're recording. All you will hear from my end is my button mashing.
I'm just trying to cover up all the insecurities I have, and that the next time that you and I do any kind of Tekken friendly, I will
not play King, so there will be a much easier chance to beat me.
A stock. But yes. Next up, some Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero fused warrior trailer and screenshots. There's someone who cares more about this. Who?
Me and Steven. I will throw this to Steven though.
So yeah, Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero released a new trailer.
You guys keep saying sparkling, it's Sparking.
I'm Sparkling suits better.
Got him.
But yeah, so they did a trailer with everyone's favorite fusion.
It's Pride Month, it's
Vegeta.
sparkling, okay?
Damn, caught me in 4K.
Again. So they confirmed like Gogeta, Vegito, and Gotenks, and they also confirmed like Cleffa and Cauliflower, which are Kefla and Kale.
Yeah.
Cauliflower and Kale, which fused together make Kefla. Fuck, this is which should be very cool.
They also show tag team supers. Like Goten and Kale get into a beam clash, and then Trunks and Cauliflower jump in to help each other out as well.
That kind of looked like half a cutscene.
But the supers in this are getting more cutscene heavy.
That's true. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if they've got some sort of like with beam clashes, they do something cool with it. I guess it kind of was generic enough.
Not shown in the trailer, but in like a Shonen Jump magazine or something, V-Jump or something, they showed that the tag team mode from the Tenkaichi games are coming back, and it's going to be 5v5s again.
Holy based. Oh man, I cannot. Oh man, I kneeled so hard I broke my knee. Oh.
Vegeta kneeling. This image right here.
Yeah,
no, it's Steven kneeling. No, it's Steven kneeling moment. That's fucking amazing. I didn't realize. Fucking 5v5. Man.
So that's probably where like the tag team supers and then like fusing in the middle of gameplay comes in as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say like it looks like you can fuse in the middle of games, which means it would obviously have tags and all that kind of stuff. But then is it like you kind of have to start with like Goten and Trunks and then like charge a meter or something, and then it's like, hey, we fuse them.
Yeah, I also like how these trailers are cut to like tell a story, because it's like Goten and Trunks versus Kale and Cauliflower at the World Martial Arts Tournament, and then it jumps to Vegito and Gogeta are fighting, and then Zamasu comes out of nowhere, and it starts cutting to like both the Goku and Vegeta fusions being the shit out of him so they can go back to their fight.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I appreciate it. They put a lot of soul into the trailers and stuff, and for all of them as well. Like realistically, what they could have done is just shown like a trailer with some gameplay and like, hey, all these characters are coming, but no, they're really fucking making a meal out of it. Very excited.
Yeah, they're very well put together trailers.
Oh yeah, we're getting another trailer on June the 7th with the Summer Game Showcase.
Do you think they'll drop the release date there?
Of course, there's no way they don't.
Yeah, I think I heard that it's going to be coming out maybe October-ish. Possible day one.
Whoa, huge call from Seth there. Would you buy a record?
Buy a record?
Yeah, the record of the OST. They never fucking stopped you before, has he, you bastard?
I don't own any records. What are you talking about?
The CD you got with Final Fantasy 16.
That's not a record, that's an audio CD.
Well, what? It's an audio CD, is it?
The only record Seth has is for how many times he's pissed Steve off with the idea that he went and bought a bunch of collector's editions.
The record I hold with pride.
He bought two Final Fantasy 16 collector's editions, one that he imported from Japan and he paid like $7,000 for. And then you get the fucking CD and he doesn't even have disk drive in his computer. How are you going to play these CDs, Steph? I'm going to have
on my PlayStation 3.
Your PlayStation, you printed it out there, a PlayStation fucking 3. Move on. Gotta go for an angry dad walk after this. I need to cool off.
I love having like the perfect answer to piss him off even more. Do you think you would have taken that answer better if I said Xbox 360?
No.
Yeah, I think I still would have raged, man. Could have said fucking PlayStation 2 and I literally would have come over and kicked you in the head.
No, it would have been the PlayStation 1 because of its soulful music player app.
I don't know. I never had a PlayStation 1.
You were missing out, my friend.
Oh, when you say PlayStation 1, you mean like how Xbox released the Xbox One recently, so PlayStation 1 being like the recent one?
No, because PlayStation didn't reset their numbers.
Which time?
You see, they went from the PSP to the PS Vita, which means life, which is ironic because it died on impact.
Hey, it's coming back, all right?
Any day now.
Any day. All of the studios are just busy preparing like massive stockpiles of the little Vita cartridges. Actually, shit, they're probably the same size as Switch cartridges, eh? Or they're smaller.
I think they were, actually.
It might be slightly smaller. Man, it's hard to visualize the size of those now. Anyway, we're going to move on. We have some Dragon Quest news. I'm not even going to name this. This is just
I'm going to just roll both of these into one talking point, and we'll probably move on quickly because I think it's only me and Steven that care about Dragon Quest potentially.
You'd be right, but I still think it's a cool sentiment.
Yeah. So first off, Dragon Quest 12, Yuji Horii, the director of the series, says that the game's still coming along, and they want it to be worthy of the legacy of Akira Toriyama and Koichi Sugiyama, who both passed away during development of the game. Akira Toriyama being the main character artist for the games, and Koichi Sugiyama, who was the composer throughout the series. Hot topic. Gonna just say it. Only one of those people deserves a red. Okay. Only one of those people is worthy of the praise that is being put here. To try and put it lightly, I do not want to speak ill of the dead, but one of those people is kind of not great, and the other one is Akira Toriyama.
Seth, it's Pride Month. Have some dignity.
He hated gay people. Dragon Quest
I can't segue out of this.
Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D game got reconfirmed as being a game that's coming, and they've given the platforms going to be released on PS5, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. They put a tagline here that says the legacy begins, which has a lot of people thinking maybe it's going to be more than just Dragon Quest 3 being remade, and that's why it took so long. It might be the first 3 games in one remade package, which would be cool. But at the same time, if it's just Dragon Quest 3, that's also fine. And that's all I have to say about those.
Cool. Next up we have Kona, there we go. Kona Bridge of Spirits. Coming to some X bonus on August 15. Congrats, Steve.
Finally.
Enjoy my sloppy seconds.
Thanks for beta testing. Good chat.
Is that all we have to say about this?
Guess so.
I think I heard it's like okay, but it's one of those games.
I need to play it myself, but it looks like it. Everything I heard is it's pretty good, but we don't know what the developers are going to be doing after this game because it seems like it took them a long time to do. And it was like a pretty intense development cycle.
It's a story-driven action-adventure game.
Yeah, it looks very inspired by Ocarina of Time. This has been on my to-play list for a while, so I'll probably try and get to it before the Xbox release comes out.
Fair enough.
I don't care for it. It's not even on Game Pass. What's the fucking point? Imagine bringing a game to Xbox but not on Game Pass. You might as well fucking not release the game.
Dead in the water.
I wish you'd stop saying that. The Xbox support would die.
You know what? Just for that, close this studio down.
Curse of Ra.
Curse of Phil.
Curse of Phil is actually very good. I'm upset I didn't think of that.
Instead of the random jumbled hieroglyphs, it's just a quote from one of the executives saying that we need a game exactly like the game produced by the studio that they're just about to close down.
We need good games.
It's his email about wanting his legacy to be buying Nintendo, but the first and last letter are in place, but all the middle letters are jumbled.
Oh, good. Speaking of Curse of Phil, Redfall gets one final update. Which, how's this for like a 10 out of 10 Year of Our Lord 2024 feature list for the latest update? Offline mode, single player pausing, more. It truly is one of the games of all time.
Yeah, I'm glad that this got put out just to, even if it's a bad game, to keep it around and like for the 50 Xbox fans that like the game, they can still play it offline instead of being one of those games that when when the online services go down, then the game just dies with it. I think even for bad games, that's a really shitty thing to happen.
Hey guys, we had to make the tough call to just close out most of the live service games over the last couple of years, because turns out shitty cash grabs just don't make money. Who could have thought? So anyway, we're not refunding any of the in-game money that you, any of the in-game currency that you've had to buy with real money, but just know that if you don't spend it in the next 3 months, it's gone forever and the servers are shutting down. Peace. God, I hate the state of gaming.
Look, is anybody playing this game anymore? Like, did anybody see this get released and be like, okay, I'm going to jump back into Redfall? Maybe.
I think a few people did when the 60 FPS patch came out.
Oh, hang on.
Well, because I don't remember if we saw stats on how many people bought the Bite Back edition, which is the one that supposedly got a new character, which is now confirmed never coming.
Yeah.
Dead in the
amongst
water.
A bunch of other random bits and pieces that were promised and then ultimately not delivered because, hey, making games is hard, making money is easy. Got to do what you got to do. So, yeah, I don't know. Is what it is. Glad it's getting one final update rather than just being left to rot in the middle of nowhere, but still doesn't feel like much of a send-off.
Yeah, it's important for bad games to still be available because even in the year of our Lord and Savior 2024, I can still play Sonic 06 and go, man, what the fuck was Sega cooking?
You need it's like statues where you need to be reminded of the history and what came before. That way, you're not doomed to repeat the same mistakes.
Yeah, and we need Redfall to exist in an offline state so we can never repeat this again.
You know what I'm expecting to happen once offline support gets put in? I imagine. Actually, no, I don't know if I imagine per se, but I can imagine that if anyone wanted to look at modding an actually good game experience out of Redfall, that this would be the update that gives them the tools that would let them more easily do it with things like offline mode.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Or at least just having the game offline in general makes it easier, even if the tools aren't there.
That's what I was thinking, but then I suddenly got reminded of the guy who did mods for Starfield and then said, look guys, this is too hard. Yeah.
This isn't
I'm
fun.
not having fun. Yeah. Genuinely, I'm not having fun. I want to go back to Skyrim. Which
Bethesda fans win Skyrim.
Yep. Anyway, next up, Toys for Bob partnering with Xbox to publish the next game, which, I mean, I guess is good. I don't really know. I don't really have a good take on this either way. Seth, I feel like you've got more Toys for Bob knowledge.
Yeah, so Toys for Bob left Microsoft a couple months ago, which was pretty big news. And it just feels like maybe they had something in development with Xbox or were in the middle of negotiating something and they're just like reached an agreement to go, yeah, continue making it, we'll still publish it. So there's no hard feelings between Toys for Bob leaving the Xbox Game Studios family. I'm putting in quotation marks.
Enclave.
Yeah.
Phil Harem. There we go. Phil's Harem.
Philrum. So, let's move on. Oh.
As a little bit of a also additional context on this, the Toys for Bob website updated so that their Tiki Mask logo that they had on the website is purple now. It used to be orange. So people are taking this as a as maybe a hint that either they're working on Spyro next or some sort of Crash and Spyro collaboration, which makes sense because they're now Xbox properties.
It's still trippy to me.
Everything is.
Ah, yeah, good old Activision. Very, very weird. Just thinking about it. Anyway, yeah, I guess good news for Toys for Bob. Finally, slipping another one in here because it's not. I feel like this is probably the best place we can stick it. Not necessarily in the same theme of the kind of small stuff we've been talking about, but Space Marine 2, which I'm a massive fan of as one of my anticipated games for this year. Had a bunch of media come out about it, and man, am I excited. Looks super good.
I miss Space Marine 2 updates happening.
They dropped a trailer, I want to say last week, and confirmed that it will be cross-play between the different platforms, which is awesome, that it is co-op campaign. There is I guess the co-op campaign is
love that for the state of the industry. Just everything being cross-play is so nice.
Yeah, because I've been conflicted as to what I want to buy it on, because I'm buying this game. I'm I'm holding off pre-ordering because I've been burned too many times before. I have no reason to believe that this won't go well, but still. But my difficulty is that I know that most of the people who I'd likely play it with will buy it on PC. But since getting rid of my PC and having my
the Asus,
thank you, the ROG hashtag Pride Month ally, that I'm sure it would handle running. I'm sure it would handle running Space Marine 2 fine, but I feel like it would just be a better experience overall if I bought it on PS5. And so now, knowing that it's crossplay for the co-op stuff, I can now confidently look at buying it on the PS5 and not worry about playing it by myself. So, good news for gaming.
Very good news.
But yes, very, very excited. Looks so good. Space Marine 1, very underrated game. Excellent, excellent game. And probably crazy cheap now because it came out in like 2012, I think, which, geez, that's a while ago now. Anyway, moving on. Steam has decided that for all of the things that you have in your account, that you legally cannot bequeath them to a loved one when you inevitably perish.
That's not going to stop me. 120 years from now, when my great-great-grandchild tries to log in with my account, they go, "Are you sure you're 150 years old?" And they will gladly type in yes.
Technically,
didn't know you're going to have kids surf. Interesting.
I imagine you'd actually be even older than that, right? Because I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm assuming you were like me in that you couldn't use your actual birthday to look at R16 game trailers on Steam, so you automatically
I think I made my Steam account when I was 18, actually.
Oh wow, this guy.
I didn't really have I didn't really do much PC gaming until like I was around the age of 18.
Was that just after the dinosaurs went extinct, or?
And just before the meteor hitting was what drove me to PC gaming.
The meteor hitting was you sitting on a chair. Boom.
It was when I lifted my left leg to let one out.
First time sitting in a computer chair. It's like one of the is it Herman Miller? The like fancy
Herman Miller.
Yeah.
Very fancy chairs.
Sitting in a Herman Miller just destroys 80% of life on Earth. Anyway, yeah, so
the meteor hitting was me getting a laptop. The Monuments from 2001: A Space Odyssey was me opening Steam for the first time.
Yeah, that tracks actually. Yeah, and the monkeys jumping up and down are actually all of your internal ideas.
Here it comes.
I thought I was ready for it. It still threw me. I fucking knew he'd do it too. I was going to say all of your internal monologues about how Steve reacts whenever you tell him you bought a collector's edition of something, or buying something that wasn't 75% off.
The monkeys are me reacting to Steph buying a collector's edition. Oh my god, you're going to rep me up again.
I didn't even have to say anything this time.
Just the thought of it like really boils my piss.
So yeah, not surprising from Steam, but still kind of sad, to be honest. I
don't know how they're going to moderate this either.
Question for the group though. Well, one, like, sure. Actually, does Gabe Newell have kids? Is that a weird question? I actually don't know this. I sort of just assumed that he did, but I don't know. Anyway, so one, I assume any of Gabe Newell's family will be.
There's no way this is right. That's got to be the AI, the Google AI fucking this up. It says he actually has 3 sons, Red, Blue, and Grey Newell.
No way. Nah, that's pressing X to doubt that one. But two.
Okay, no, it's someone joking on Reddit, and Google's like, that is the top result.
Jesus Christ, what a world. No, question for the group. Do you think, let's say you continue to game, till the end of time, until you inevitably perish in the Fallout style war that will probably, okay, hypothetically.
Not even the inevitable heat death of the universe can stop Stephen from gaming.
I've got one thing to do and one thing only. You think I'm going to let all those unplayed games go unplayed? No.
That was going to be my question. Do you think you die with an unplayed game in your Steam library?
Yes.
100%. 100%. Which means you paid money for something. You might
I will ensure that Stephen dies with an unplayed game in his Steam account.
Well, that's a threat. Oh man,
Grim.
threat to life and safety right there. Anyway, we shall move on. Spider-Man 2 has sold at least 2 games. Big news for Spider-Man 2. Awesome news.
Very fun.
We love that. We love that.
We do.
Does that include? Excuse me, I probably should read the article, but I don't think I'd ever read my entire life. This isn't out on PC yet, is it?
No, Spider-Man 2 isn't on PC yet.
Cool.
This is all PS5 copies.
Ah, cool. Yeah, well, lock it in. That's mad.
Yeah. From those,
we're not sure when it's like. Imagine how much it would be if it came to Xbox. There'd got to be at least like 50 trillion.
There were reports that the game needed to sell 7 million units to profit to like be in the green, which is an insane amount of copies to hit and expect. But they've sold past that kind of. 11 million's not a insignificant number, so good on them for hitting it. And I don't think we talked about last week, so I'll quickly drop it in now as well. Helldivers 2 in less time hit 12 million units sold. Actually, no, we did talk about that last time because we were talking about how that was like 1 million units sold like a week or something.
Yeah, and then even then, Sony looked at that and went, what if we just neutered our own player base?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to play Helldivers 2 in the Vatican City? No more. Perish.
Okay, so I'm going to move this news article up, bump it up a bit because it's more tangentially related.
Curse of oh my god, Curse of Ryan.
So Sony has come out and said that their current business strategy. I was laughing as I was talking.
I thought it was funny.
So Sony's current strategy is to go, if we release a game on PC now and there's a sequel out on PS5, we hope that PC players will go and buy PS5s. I think they're going to do a better job of that by, making PSN mandatory in all of their games, forcing PC players to just go and play on PlayStation if they're going to be tied down to the Sony system anyway.
Yeah. We still haven't had a retraction on that properly, have we? Sony was like, yeah, okay, we fucked up, that's fine. We're going to make it so you don't have to use PSN. But they still haven't made it playable in those, 35-something countries that they just randomly...
I think it's 170 countries.
Oh, God, that's so much worse.
And all of their games released since have had PSN requirements. We'll get to it in a little bit as well. But God of War is coming to PC, and that's also going to have PSN be required, even though it's a completely single-player game.
I can't believe they would redfall God of War like this.
Don't call it that, man.
But yeah, this PC strategy is... It makes sense to me, but I kind of wish that they weren't doing this strategy specifically because it annoys me. And I know it annoys a lot of PC players as well, in that they're just openly going, yeah, PC is part of our strategy, but we're not committed to the platform. We're going to release games 2 to 3 years later so that essentially they can double dip on the market, and people that have PS5s and PC could potentially double dip, purchase the games so that they have a better version on PC. And I get why they won't do D&Ds, because you look at how Microsoft handles their exclusives, and a lot of people don't buy Xboxes because they just go, the games are out on PC, I will just play it on PC, which is how I see the Xbox consoles.
Yep, very, very true.
So it makes sense, but at the same time, if you're going to do this half-assed measured of games on PC, I'd kind of prefer that they didn't. I want them to either be not here at all or go all in. And I don't know if that's a weird stance to take to you guys.
I think the not here at all is perhaps a little... yeah, I'm not sure, because my stance, Sony comes out and basically says, not going to put words in their mouth, of most of the people that are going to buy PSN have already bought PSN. Let's just jack the price up because we're not going to turn people away. If they've already bought PSN, they're either paying for it or fucking up out of the ecosystem and they can't. And so, with that in mind, yeah.
It's not a strategy I can get too pissed off at, because Capcom has been doing this strategy with Monster Hunter, and I have fallen for it twice. I bought Monster Hunter World on PS4, and then it came out a year and a half later on PC, and I bought it on PC for the better performance. Then they did the same thing with Monster Hunter Rise, where it was on Switch, and then a year later it was on PC, and I bought it on PC for the better performance. So the double dipping strategy does work. It's just at the same
I'm
time,
begging you guys, you gotta wait a year. You gotta wait. Just wait. You know it's coming. Don't fucking pay for it twice. And you would have paid full price for it twice as well. Cringe.
Actually, with Monster Hunter Rise, someone bought it for me.
Was that me?
Well,
No, it was a different friend.
Okay. Oh, friend.
yeah, different friend.
That's nice.
It's just at this point in the state of the industry, I kind of just wish if you were doing platform and PC, do it on both at the same time.
It's
them coming out and saying this. Yes, we are making this a strategy that makes it annoying to me.
Yeah,
when you pretend you're not doing it on purpose, then it's not as annoying as we are definitely doing this on purpose.
If the alternative was that they are doing it as like day one platform support for both, but it means that the day one platform support for both is in that year to 18 months after it would have otherwise been released if it was just PS5 first. Better or worse for you?
I think it makes no difference at this point. Like I feel like the marketing cycle would shift itself around so that we wouldn't hear about these games until it was marketing cycle time and they were going to be hitting both.
Yeah, I guess it's fair. Yeah, interesting stuff. Anything from you on that, Steve?
I have no comment. Comment redacted by legal, as they say.
Funny, because that's exactly what Sony said after their absolute oopsie of an interview with Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog. Thank you for the segue. Love your work. Where Sony, in an interview for Sony by Sony, went and said that Neil Druckmann said a whole bunch of stuff, and then Neil Druckmann had to come out on Twitter and say, I didn't say that.
Did we talk about his interview last time, or did that happen right after the podcast recording?
I think it was one of the right after recording
okay.
moments.
So yeah, a little bit of context.
A crumb of context?
Yeah, a crumb of context. Sony put out a interview with Neil Druckmann where...
That's what I said.
They both paraphrased their own questions and paraphrased his answers. And they covered things like what he thinks of the state of the industry, how things are going with Naughty Dog, how things are going with like him, what he's learned with The Last of Us TV show, and
also who he's voting for in November. Crazy stuff.
Well, yes, but also topics regarding AI. And I feel like that one was the one that people looked at his answers and were very concerned about it because he was talking about how AI was going to be this great important tool for storytellers, and a man running a studio that's very notorious for crunching people out of the industry is talking about how AI can be used as a replacement for manual labor. So that was the one that had most people scratching their head over. But another one was about how he was talking about the state of Naughty Dog and The Last of Us TV show and things he learned, and being excited for the next game. And they quoted him as saying that the next Naughty Dog project was going to revolutionize the industry or something along those lines. And that was the thing that he wanted. That was the thing he wanted to come out and say, no, they misrepresented what I said.
It was the reported statements were about redefining perceptions of gaming.
Yeah. And so people were like, hand waving it and like going, oh, his head's so far up his ass, or he really wants to be the next Hideo Kojima. And so that was the one he took issue with and went on this long paragraphs upon paragraphs of what his actual answer was. And you read that and it's like, oh, okay, this is more of a sane answer, and they did really misrepresent what he said by paraphrasing it. But at the same time, what was your statement about AI, Neil? Do you want to clarify that one?
Really left you unseen, didn't it? I just think it's very interesting how like I understand the interviews, they chop some things out just for brevity, but for PlayStation to actually fucking can the whole article.
I don't think it was PlayStation. I think Sony.
Sorry, was it Sony or whatever?
Yeah, it was Sony. I think like the Sony side of things conducted this interview, and the PlayStation side of it was like, and Neil Druckmann himself were like, hey, this is misrepresenting Neil. This is like really badly affecting us. And so bigger Sony Corp took it down. It is one of those weird things where like the big umbrella company fucks things up.
Oh, Umbrella Corp always fucks things up. Am I right, Resident Evil fans?
You're so right. Wesker, my beloved.
Stay away from me.
Happy Pride.
Cool. And keeping on the Sony theme, what was everyone's favorite announcement in the absolute state of play? And why was it Astrobot?
I only have one? Because I feel like we're all going to say the same one.
Astrobot.
Concord.
Say Astrobot, Steven.
It does look cool.
Say the line, Bart.
My name's not Bart, Steve. Yeah, okay, I'll give it to you. It does look cool. That's the only thing I didn't really care about any of this, to be honest.
I thought there were quite a few good things in here, but at the same time, there were also a few stinkers, which made this feel longer and worse than it actually is. That's how I feel about all of the state of plays. Like, there's a few things that aren't that good, but there's also a few things that are really good, but people focus so much on the stuff in between that wasn't that exciting that they think it's worse than it actually is.
Yeah, I maybe it sounds bad. I feel like that's every
that is every one of these types of events, yeah.
Yeah,
but I feel like the state of plays cop at the worst. And that's probably the Sony fanboy in me talking.
I was going to say, it's the whole like one man's trash thing, right? Like you'd think that no one would make a game for the sake of making a game, that they'd be making it like it's a game that they either want to make because they enjoy, or a game that they want to make because they think other people will enjoy. It's not like Sony gets the like quota of like 5 good ones and they're like, all right, we need some like absolute shitters to fill out the rest of the rank.
Yeah, no, they try to cover a widespread of things in these, like, hey, they announced a brand new Dynasty Warriors game. Not the most high-profile IP, but there are a lot of people that like Dynasty Warriors. And the people that don't like Dynasty Warriors are going to say, oh, it's shit. But the people that do like it are like, oh, holy crap, I'm getting what I want. And then those same people have
to put down the crayon that they've been eating in order to click on the link.
Yeah, and then those same Dynasty Warriors fans probably look at Path of Exile and go, I'm not interested in this. But the people that don't like Dynasty Warriors are like, oh, hey, Path of Exile is coming to PS5. That's cool.
And then they have to put down the crayons that they've been eating in order to click on the link. There is a theme here.
There is. We are all eating crayons here at the PlayStation Nation.
I should also
actual discussion, mention, is there much here that you guys care about, or is this going to be Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I wondered why that wasn't the first thing that was discussed.
You can't not say Astrobot as like the first one, because
that's the Sony first party one.
Well, that, and also for a game that was so well done to introduce systems of the PS5, I was not expecting there to ever be a follow-up game.
Wait, if everyone was begging for a follow-up game.
I know, but it's like, what do you do? But Sony...
You do the same thing, but more. They've done a PlayStation blog article since, and they've said that there's going to be over 80 levels, and if all 80 of those levels are the same size as the levels were in the tech demo game, that's going to be a pretty beefy game. Because each level was like,
marathons.
Each level was like, 20 minutes long?
20 minutes?
Maybe a little bit more if you were looking for every Easter egg and every collectible.
True.
So getting more than 80 of those is going to be a very long game. And they also said they're going to have like optional, very hard levels that are like, if you die, you got to retry the whole level. Which I imagine are more going to be like streamlined, more speedrunny type levels than they are the big 20-minute main levels. But yeah, Astrobot looks great. Very, very, very good game.
Kaiser bloody Mario of just like, here's a game designed for children. Let's make it a platforming hell.
Love that for them.
Love that for them indeed. Astrobot does look sick.
Yeah, something I haven't heard anyone talk about, but I think is a neat detail, is that in the Astrobot tech demo, you're going around collecting, like, every level was at the end of it, you were collecting an old PlayStation console. But there was only 4 levels, so you collected the PlayStation 1 through PlayStation 4. So one of the things that they made a point of in showing in this trailer is that you find the long-lost PlayStation 5 in the desert, which I just think is a neat detail to follow up from the tech demo game.
Do you reckon they'll find any games for the PlayStation 3?
That's impossible. There were none.
Always funny, man. Always funny.
Could you imagine that they shadow drop the look of the PlayStation 6 as an Astro Bot Easter egg?
That would be amazing. It would actually be really funny because apparently the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to be coming out this year, maybe after this game releases. So they actually shadow drop the PlayStation 5 Pro design.
That wouldn't surprise me. You reckon they call it the PlayStation 5 Pro? Surely they have a different...
No, I think they keep the theming. I think they call it the Pro so that they don't do market confusion like other companies do.
Other companies, eh?
Like the Nintendo Switch, right?
The Nintendo Wii and the Nintendo Wii U, which somehow that confused people into thinking the Wii U was just an upgrade for the Wii.
Wasn't it?
It's just a tablet controller, right?
No one bought it, so they never know.
But yeah, sorry for derailing you, Patrick. We can now talk about Monster Hunter Wilds gameplay.
Oh, it looks so good.
It looks fantastic. I'm so glad that you can swap between two weapons in the middle of a hunt. Like, we talked about this last time when I was talking about another game, that it's like, yeah, you could go back to the campsite, but having your mount to just carry the second weapon so you can switch between them in the middle of a fight instead of having to teleport back to the camp to swap out. Very, very nice addition.
Yeah, it's really weird because there's so many things like that where when so much of what you play or enjoy or like about games like Monster Hunter, like the whetstone thing as an example, for most of, maybe not now, but certainly up towards World, that's like Freedom Unite, 4 Ultimate, Cross, Generations Ultimate. Then when we hit World, it's like, hey, whetstones are no longer like a single-use item. They're just unlimited. And it's weird because at no point, well, there's like a couple points when you go, man, I really wish whetstones were unlimited earlier on, but you don't think of it as like this fundamental shift in how you play the game. It's like, no, you still need to use a whetstone. It's just, you carry 20 and you only ever go through like 5 in a hunt anyway. So does it really make a difference changing that to infinite? But then you're in Monster Hunter World and you just realize that, I don't know, it's like, I guess you'd really just call it a quality of life upgrade, but you never think you need it until you have it, and then you go to a game that doesn't have it and you're like, man, how did I do this?
Yeah.
Just like without even thinking about it for so long. And it's a similar thing with the loadouts. Like, it used to be older games that you couldn't change your loadout at all during a hunt. And then again, World, shout out, which should say for context, there's like 2 teams that work on Monster Hunter games that alternate which team releases. And so if you're keeping track of how many games we've had out, the team
that released... the World team.
Exactly. The team that released World have been busy working on Wilds, while the Rise team has been releasing Rise and Sunbreak. So whichever absolute like crack soldiers in the trenches that have been working on World are the same ones working on Wilds. And I think
it's not even like they work in isolation, because you can see ideas from each game affecting the other one.
Yeah. But to finish on the loadout thing, early games, always just a singular loadout. You picked the wrong weapon. GG, go back to base. Not even camp. Just like quit the hunt. Try again later. You go to World, and it's like, oh yeah, you can now return to your camp at any time and change. Oh, what is it? You can change loadouts, but you can't change decorations, I think. So you need
I think decorations are locked in.
Yeah, so you need all of your loadouts pre-defined. So you can change decorations via loadouts, but you can't just adjust decorations. And so again, that's already a massive upgrade from the previous games. That's cool. I was totally happy with how that works as a mechanic. Now the idea of, while you're running around, you don't even have to go back to base. You can just swap on the fly. It'll be yet another quality of life thing where if I ever go back to Generations Ultimate, which, I might pick up every now and then, but it's going to be so wild going back, just like regressing in mechanics. It'll be like picking up Pokemon BDSM and all of the mechanics. What?
Don't call it that.
Continue calling it that.
It's Pride Month. Get your head out of your ass. And all of the quality of life upgrades that they introduced in later games, they just strip back for no reason in BDSP. And it's like, why are we back to single-use TMs? And what was the other mechanic that they stripped out? And everyone was like, why? Why did you do this?
The poke can only go forward.
I feel like there was another one. Anyway, the point
There's
is...
a lot of problems with that game.
The HMs. HM slaves.
What do you mean? They had the thing you call the Pokemon now. They weren't HM slaves.
Did they? I thought people would. Yeah. I thought people said the HM slaves were back. I never played it myself.
I don't quite remember.
Okay.
The point being, it's going to be a similar thing of you appreciate the upgrades and then don't realize how badly you wanted the upgrades before. But then if you ever play a previous game, it's going to be like, man, I really miss those upgrades. So yeah, I'm super, super excited for Wilds.
Yeah, and like just based on stuff from the trailer that I'm really excited for, like seeing like how the World Team has expanded on just how Monster Hunter works in general. One of the new monsters they show is like in a pack. It's like a pack leader, so you can just get into these fights where the rest of the pack is backing it up, and you've got 4 of the same type of monster on your ass, and you don't usually get that in Monster Hunter. There's a couple of times where
is the thing.
Yeah, like it's. I feel like it's more like you're hunting a Anjanath or something, and then the B-52 bomber comes in just to mess up your day. No,
it's more like you didn't see it so much in Worlds. Actually, or Rise. It really is a function of the older games, but it was common. Not so they've expanded on it and done this way better. But things like if you fought a Kongalala, it would. Or no, Kongalala's a better example. If you fought a Blangonga, that's a better example. A Blangonga will almost always have 2 Blangos just in the same area that will just beat the shit out of you for fun.
Yeah, and
that you have to play around.
There was one monster in Rise that did that as well. It was the one with the hook tail, the sword tail.
Oh yes.
I forget the name of it.
I can see it in my head. I know the exact monster. It's gonna hurt. K something. Anyway, I know the one you mean. We can move on. But yes, this is much more of a like pack, like a proper pack thing, rather than an alpha and basic bitches.
Yeah, Izuchi and Great Izuchi.
Yes.
But part of that as well that I was bringing up is like it looks like you can use the environment to break it away from the pack, and it's wanting you to do that, which is interesting that they're delving more into the Monster Hunter world environmental interactions to go with the hunt, which seems really fun to do.
Yeah.
The other one was Greatsword looks sick. New Greatsword actions look phenomenal. Like I love the stuff like you leap off it, you run up to the side of the monster and just dig the greatsword into it and then like slide it across the side of its body. You also look like you get like a proper parry with the greatsword now because they end the trailer the same way the Resident Evil 4 trailer ended, where it's like, here's an iconic parry shot where you're holding back a massive enemy, and this game's trailer ends with, here's a parry shot, this monster is trying to eat you alive, and you're using the greatsword to keep its jaw back. As a semi-consistent greatsword user, I feel like I am eating good with this trailer and what it shows that the greatsword can do now.
Yeah, I just want to jump to the... Where are we with that parry?
It's right near the end, around like the 240 mark.
Yeah, because the...
and I feel like you don't really get interactions with monsters on that level.
Certainly not like that. You do get, or you did get, yeah, you sort of got it in Rise a little bit, but Generations was the first one that introduced things like Hunter Arts, which were kind of special moves attributed to particular weapons, and Worlds, I don't think did much with that. Could be mistaken.
No, they didn't.
There was stuff like Helm Splitter and other bits and pieces. Oh no, was Helm Splitter? Shit, Helm Splitter was, I think, Rise, now that I think about it. Man.
No, I think Helm Splitter was with the longsword in World as well.
Well, World and Rise just blend together in some ways, man.
Yeah.
But
Rise had all the silk abilities.
Silk. Exactly, yep, silk. And a lot of the silk stuff was traversal based, and I actually know quite a few people that were worried that the hunter was becoming too too mobile, perhaps too just overpowered in general. It used to be like you're in danger in this area, you need to leave. And then Rise kind of upended that of, if you want to leave, it's very easy. Like, there is very little stopping you from leaving any area in Rise. And to be fair, that was kind of one of its selling points. But it is nice that I almost want to call it the like world camera, just like the camera distance and how low you are and how kind of singular you are in the space of like it's you versus the environment. Which was very how world was established as well, suggests that there will be traversal mechanics because there'll have to be, but it feels like a lot of it is much more combat focused than traversal focused. And I can almost guarantee, because when they were introducing hunter styles in Generations, showed the adept style of being able to dodge through an attack as a greatsword user, and everyone, as a dual blades user, and everyone went, "Oh, we dual blade users are eating good tonight." So, as cool as the greatsword being able to parry like that is, I am almost more excited to see what we haven't been shown here.
Yeah.
Because I think all weapons be eating good tonight.
Oh, definitely. It's just that in this particular trailer, they put a lot of focus on the greatsword, and it's setting expectations for the rest. But just for what I'm getting with the greatsword, I'm eating good.
Only thing that I am slightly concerned about is that the playstyle of the hunting horn got upended completely in Rise, and it made it a way more accessible weapon, but also made it, I might go so far as to say, overpowered, or at least it removed a lot of the skill required from playing the hunting horn, particularly playing the hunting horn well. I'm not saying that we should continue the Rise style, or specifically dodge the Rise style and go back to it, but I am curious what they will do with the hunting horn for Wilds, because a lot of how the greatsword was shown to be played out is very heavy methodical attacks, which even in Rise they just don't have the same weight of the attack, because it's just it's the physics, it's the game feel, it's everything else. That I imagine a hammer will feel really good in Wilds, but I don't know what they're going to do with hunting horn, and that'll be interesting.
I'm interested to see what they do with hunting horn myself, because I really got into that weapon by the end of World's life cycle, and I was playing it a fair bit in Rise as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what direction they go with that.
Yeah, and similarly, whether they keep the mobility upgrades to Gunlance, because that made Gunlance much more accessible as a weapon for
just being able to jet around with the Gunlance.
Exactly, yeah. I imagine that almost has to be gone from Wilds as to how Wilds will play, but whether they replace it with something smaller scale.
Very interesting to see what they do. We still got more State of Play to talk about.
Yeah, but just stop talking about Monster Hunter. We'll be here for the rest of the time.
This guy.
I'm sorry, Patrick and I were having a moment.
I'm aware.
Okay, what do you want to talk about, Steve?
Nothing. The State of Play, I don't care about that. Dynasty Warriors looks cool. I always like the Warriors game. They're only they're like the junk food.
And thus the Crayon eating prophecy comes full circle.
Yeah, I knew. I walked right into that one.
Yeah, no, Dynasty Warriors looks pretty good. I appreciate the power of these new generation consoles. Just has literal armies on screen, and one combo attack will kill 1,000 people.
Yeah, I joke about Crayon eating, but no, I agree. It does actually look kind of sick.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me though.
I want to bring up a weird thing that Sony did in this State of Play.
Cool, I don't.
It's good.
Well, too bad. You're not the one bringing it up. I am. So they began this State of Play with showing off 10 minutes of their exclusive game Concord. Very big Guardians of the Galaxy vibes with the cinematic trailer that they showed. I was kind of... I know how these events go, so I was fine with that happening, because I was like, yeah, they already said they're going to show gameplay afterwards. I will sit through the cinematics just to understand what the vibe they're going for. And yeah, it's on the nose. They were inspired by Guardians of the Galaxy. But the actual shooter part of it looks pretty good to me. Like, I want to know more if this is going in the direction of Overwatch or something that's more arena shooter focused. They're going for a hero shooter, so you pick your character, you get their special abilities and gun types and everything like that. But if it's like Overwatch, I'm not as interested, but if it's something like a Halo-style arena shooter with game modes that have objectives, like capture the flag and stuff, then I'm more okay with it and more willing to give it a chance. They also said there's going to be a pre-order closed beta test, so I'm probably going to do the thing where I go out, pre-order the game for $10, get the beta code, and then cancel my pre-order just so I can give the game a try to see if I want to put money into it.
Yeah, bit of a chat moment, I guess.
If Sony could legally shoot you for doing that, they would.
Oh, I'm sure. I know this is a strategy multiple people employ with multiple games. But yeah, I just want to see if it how well it goes. I believe the team is made of like ex-Bungie developers, so this might have like the game feel of a Halo or a Destiny as well. And if it does, then it's going to feel like a good shooter. The weird part is that like 15 minutes later, Sony showed off a trailer for Marvel's Rivals, which is just another hero shooter, but the actual full-on Overwatch clone, and has a lot more people interested in it, and it feels kind of weird to include their hero shooter in the same show as the Marvel hero shooter.
Where's the DC hero shooter?
No one cares about DC characters.
Yeah, come on, Granddad.
Actually, no, we did get that. It was Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah. That's a shame.
No more questions.
And just to add on to the Marvel Rivals one, this was just hard confirming, it's coming to console, but they also showed off that Venom and Adam Warlock are going to be in the game, and they ended with a stinger that Black Panther was going to be in the game.
We are Venom.
And Silent Hill 2 looks shit. And that's everything I want to bring up from the state of play.
Mad.
Who's mad?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add on to that. Yay, Monster Hunter.
I have nothing. Yeah.
Yay, Monster Hunter, and yay, Astrobot.
Yay, Astrobot. Cool. Finally, wrapping up the news for this week. Jeff Keighley says, no Silk Song for you.
For me specifically?
Yeah, just you. No, like Steve and I, we got Silk Song, but just you, Seth. Jeff Keighley took one look, one sniff, said, no thanks, moved on.
One sniff even, bro, is diabolical. I didn't care for Silk Song, but is that why I'm getting it?
Are you implying that I am of the same level as a Smash player?
Oh, God, no. I'd never do that to you.
You're not that bad. Come on, no one's that bad. Except for Smash players. Multiversus players.
Jeff Keighley went on Twitch to do a quick Q&A session before the Summer Games Fest happens this week. And he's trying to downplay expectations. He's saying not to get too excited for it. They're not going to announce games that are like super far ahead. It's like 2026 or 2027. They're going to try and keep those off the table. So it'll probably focus more on updates on games that are coming out this year and next year.
You said moron.
Yes, Stephen is a moron. More news at 11.
Why am I catching strays here?
It's okay. It's okay. Just take the Crayola box, pick out your favorite color, and just start chewing.
His chat was also spamming specific games that he called out. Like, okay, people are asking for these, so I'll try and put a lid on this now and say, no, we're not going to have Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, which makes sense. Him and Hideo Kojima share a bedroom. He will not betray his lover like that. Happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride, everyone.
Don't expect Silk Song either, which I kind of expect is going to show up at the Xbox show if it shows up anywhere.
Yay.
Since the last time Silk Song showed up anywhere was an Xbox show. And don't expect Kingdom Hearts 4 either.
Good. It was never going to be Kingdom Hearts.
I was hoping so just by looking at how the Kingdom Hearts franchise is moving at the moment. Because last time we recorded, we talked about how it was coming to Steam recently. And there seems to be a promotion coming up soon that's going to be like, hey, the Missing Link signups are going to be starting soon. So I was looking at like, okay, maybe they'll show a Missing Link trailer at the Summer Games Fest, but I also don't think that a mobile game is a big enough deal to show at Summer Games Fest. So maybe they'll show a Kingdom Hearts 4 re-announcement at the same time.
That's fair. Yeah, I'd believe that. Kind of weird.
But him coming out and saying that dampens the expectations. Disappoints me a little bit, but at the same time, I wasn't super like going, okay, this is going to happen. This was just like me going, I think this will happen. But Kingdom Hearts 4 not being there isn't going to be a show ruiner for me because Monster Hunter Wilds is still going to get another reveal there. So I will be saying Jeff Keighley put on a 10 out of 10 show just for Monster Hunter Wilds.
True. Man after my own heart right there.
You guys, that man could literally kill someone as long as it releases Monster Hunter Wild.
If the tutorial is me executing, like, you know what? No,
Stop.
I'm not even going to entertain that idea.
Jeff Keighley kills Bobby Kotick on stage.
What the fuck are we doing messing with Monster Hunter Wilds? I'd just buy that. Actually, shit. No,
he finds the Bill Clinton kid.
What?
and just holds him upside down and shakes out all his loose change.
Yeah. I think that I don't know if that kid is over 18 or not. If he's under 18, he gets his change stolen. If he's over 18, one shot taken out. I want this kid gone, says Jeff Keighley.
I hate kids. Jeff Keighley 2024 colorized.
Funny thing about Jeff Keighley actually is someone I follow on Twitter is just like a general Twitter funny person. And every month he'll make like a fake Jeff Keighley quote post. And he's done like a bunch of them that are like really defamatory basically. But Jeff Keighley has let him live on every single one. Multiversus released, and the guy puts out a tweet going, Jeff Keighley is quoted saying, Multiversus is the most exciting game to release all year. I wouldn't be surprised if it won Fighting Game of the Year over Tekken 8. And Jeff Keighley rolls into his replies going, this is not true.
Coward.
Imagine, no. Jeff Keighley just does a Neil Druckmann and just types, he didn't say that.
Yeah. Essentially, yes.
Oh, that's good. Anything more on the Summer Games Fest? I got one more thing to bring out because fucking slacking the docker this week. Gotta fucking bring up the rear myself, but I got one more for you all just to really end on something that'll boil Steve's piss.
Do it.
Don't do it. I'm begging you.
Unfortunately, I have no self-control.
This is a 3-person vote, so Patrick is a tiebreaker.
That's what everyone calls me. No, so the final thing that I want to talk about, we don't have to spend that long on it just because it's immensely funny to most people. League of Legends, popular game, you may have heard of it.
I have not. Can you explain it?
I would be here for a while. It's
toxic of you not to explain League of Legends to me.
It's the game based on the hit show Arcane. They have inducted Faker, who is like the greatest of all goats, into their Hall of Fame.
I think he's the fake hedgehog around here.
Not the vibe I'm going for, but I'll let you live for this one.
What are you talking about?
Quoting Sonic Adventure 2.
How the fuck? Continue, Pat. The sooner it's over, the sooner we can go home.
And so
I found you, Faker.
Gotta keep moving, man. You gotta keep moving.
I'm gonna need you to take the Crayola box away from Steve. Pick out any color you want and just sit there quietly.
I like blue. It's the same color as Sonic.
I come back and you've just got like gum in your hair and a bunch of blue crayons running down your back. Anyway, so
I drew Sonic inside Steven's walls.
Come on, man, you gotta get it out.
I'm trying the hardest that I've ever tried. No one has ever tried harder than me in this very moment. So they've inducted Faker into the Hall of Fame in League of Legends, and to celebrate, they were like, "Hey, we'll make a skin." And the first funny thing about that is that Faker, notorious for never ever using a skin, like ever. He used a skin once accidentally, and it became like a Redditable story because people were surprised that it had happened, and it was just because he had skin, like, so it was at a tournament and the skin was set up on his computer, so he just auto-clicked assuming that it would be the default of no skin. Anyway, so he gets a skin. He gets a skin for a champion. The champion is Ari, but you guys probably don't know or care about who that is. It's a champion that Faker did well at, played reasonably well at. And
Hold on, I'm Googling her because I know Ari. Oh, she's the cat girl.
Yes, exactly. And part of the reason is because Ari has a lot of skins, and Ari skins sell very well. So Faker isn't actually known for his Ari play. I mean, he's very good at Ari, but there are other champions that Faker plays better than Ari, and those are not the ones that got the skins. Or the skin, singular. So, let me hit you with the price of the skin. $40 US.
Oh, I heard this story. I know how much it is. Yeah, that's far.
That's the base.
Yep, and it goes higher from what I've heard.
It does. So that is the basic bitch base version of the Faker Hall of Fame Ari skin. The next highest tier, Seth, if you haven't heard of this, do you want to toss out a number for me?
$69.
That would be nice. Riot is not nice, so it is not $69. It is $300.
That is very not nice.
Are you laughing yet?
No.
No, absolutely insane.
It gets worse.
How? Do they charge a console price for a skin?
Seth, I need to make sure that the blue crayon you might be chewing right now isn't going to be a choking hazard when I tell you that the highest tier Ari Hall of Fame Faker skin is $500 US.
Why is a skin the same price as a PS5? It's bad enough the PS5 is still $500.
Yeah, it's actually insane.
Shit's fucked.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Apparently people in like China and Japan aren't complaining about it. So like Riot doesn't really care about the complaint. Apparently, allegedly, if you believe the rumor.
The rumor mill is that the pull of the whales across South Korea as well. But South Korea and China definitely. Japan, maybe. I don't actually know how big League is in Japan, but definitely
I've got
South
some
Korea
breaking news when this story is done.
Okay, of course you do. Absolutely wild. Everyone is just aghast because it's a skin that, again, Faker doesn't typically use skins. It is just a skin. It's a nice skin, sure, but it's not a $500 skin. And Faker does get 30% of the money generated from the skins. But the current community thinking is that when this skin is currently available on the beta test server. I don't remember. League calls it something specific. It's like a test client. It's a completely different client to the regular game client. But when it goes to the proper game client, there is a gentleman's agreement across every League player on the planet that they will just immediately permaban Ari in every game that they are in, specifically to fuck over people that drop $500,000 on this skin so that they can't use it.
They deserve it.
But yeah, shit is wild. And the funnier part, I don't know. Yeah, no, that's right. So this isn't even Faker's first skin. Faker technically also has SKT1 shit. There's like a few champions that have an SKT1 skin. And during an interview, this was a couple of years ago, but it's been doing the rounds in light of this, of the interview going, like, this skin is based on your team. Like, yep, and you don't own it. No. Why not? I'm waiting for it to go on sale in the store before I buy it. This man who has multiple just like zeros for days on his net worth, the greatest of all time League player, been professional League player for fucking at least a decade, if not more, I'm sure. Waiting for a skin of his own team to go on sale before he buys it. And even then, probably wouldn't even use it. Just absolutely based. But yeah, I don't have anything more to add to that. I just wanted to throw that absolute curveball of Jesus Christ, what are we doing? 500 Fusruda dollar reduce skin in League of Legends.
It's fucking insane. Holy fucking shit. Do not pay. If you pay that much money for a skin, you have rocks in your head. Holy shit.
500 US, by the way. So that's what, 900 Australian?
800, 850.
800? Yeah.
A lot,
yeah. So, breaking news.
Sony's just drops that the adapter for PlayStation VR 2 for PC is going to be coming this summer.
That wasn't just dropped, that was yesterday. I read that article. I was going to send it to you, but I didn't want to.
I'm reading an article about it that was published 52 minutes ago.
This guy.
Well, they're taking a bunch of features away from it. I remember reading. You know what? I'm going to fucking find.
You know what? He might actually be right. Like, he might not be lying about that because he's right. So yeah, It's coming out for $60 US, and there's a lot of neat features for the PSVR 2 that include
13 hours ago.
HDR, headset feedback, eye tracking, adaptive triggers, and haptic feedback. I mentioned those 5 because none of those will be in the PC version of like when you connect it to a PC, all of those features will be disabled. So that makes it a worse offer than a MetaQuest 3 if you're going to get PC VR.
Okay, but answer me this, Seth. Would you rather buy a PSVR headset for a couple $100,
$450 US,
or for $50 US more, this sick-looking skin in League of Legends?
Patrick, play us out.
Where's my Crayola box? I like the green ones.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you.
Well, that we are at the end of the news segment. Final thoughts, Steve?
No thoughts, only good, happy memories. Glad to spend some time with my friends. And you at home, spend some time with your friends. You know what? Don't hang out with Pat. He's not a good friend. If you're Pat's friend and you're listening to this, he's not your friend.
Excellent lover, though. That's what people say. Anyway,
sure they do. Give you the worst 30 seconds of your life.
That is the news section for this week.
That's a high bar. Going for the marathon on that one.
That includes sending the message that he's out the front. So you have to go down the elevator, pick him up. Or I'm at the wrong house. Hang on.
Yeah. It's the hey, I think I'm outside. And you go outside,
across the street.
and they're like 500 meters down the street outside some fucking rando's house. Anyway, that is the end of Friendly Lounge for this week. No audience question, but if you have a question, get in touch. We are on Facebook at Fast Travel Lounge, X formerly Twitter, thanks Elon, at Fast Travel Lounge, minus the L that Elon continually takes, although maybe this one might be donated to
He promises
this week.
that for sure porn on Twitter was actually part of the game plan and not a bot problem that he has yet to solve.
I don't want to discuss that, but that's very funny out of context. Shit, where'd I get to? Blue Sky, thank you. And good old mailbag, fastravelounge at gmail.com. If you have enjoyed what you've been listening to, giving any form of interaction, be it a like, be it a subscription, be it a comment, telling Steve why a particular flavor of Crayon might actually be better than the one that he chose, then feel free to do so. We'll read them out. Anything we want to drop for next ep? I don't think I have anything.
Last time I shot you both with the fact that 2 wrestling shows were happening, and I've yet to talk about them.
That's more self-control than I didn't know you were capable of.
No, it's because I'm saving it for next week, where I dominate the entire Round the Lounge segment and pre-news segment with wrestling chat.
Oh, cool. Okay. So
I think I might be gouging an eye out sometime randomly next week. We'll have to see what happens.
Would rather play Multiversus.
Now that's a low bar. Wait, you'd rather play Multiversus?
What color Crayon is Multiversus?
Or you'd rather play Nick All-Star Brawl 2?
Well, Nick All-Star Brawl 2 is yellow.
Ah, yes, the banana flavor.
I was thinking more sponge.
Well, until then, I've been Patrick, I've been joined by Seth and Steve. Thank you so much for listening to episode 113 of the Fast Travel Lounge, and catch you next time. Bye.
Happy birthday, Pride Month.